Hello, everybody. Here on a Friday morning, a rare weekday appearance by me. Still at home with COVID, unfortunately, but glad to say I do feel a little better today. So hopefully I'm on the mend. Now that I finally got some prescription meds in me, this should be helping. I really don't expect many people here at all, considering it's the middle of the day on a Friday, but we'll see. We'll give it a few minutes and see if there's anyone wants to tune in. Just a couple issues I wanted to talk about with hey Tim, welcome. Couple issues I want to talk about that are out there, and maybe go over Christie's heritage auction video and the library, the Marvin Fenn stories for the newspaper. Some interesting stuff. So I'm just sitting here at home and thought I'd get on here and chat about it for a little bit. Tim, did you get to watch K-Pro's video at the library in Temple? Or any of those videos? I think they put out like 8 or 9 different videos. It was interesting. I mean, there was a lot. So I didn't watch all of them. I watched, I'd say, over half of it though. The story in Temple, the one that everyone was. Oh, you haven't seen it yet? Okay. Well, there was one main article that it's in the video number 6 that she made. They're all numbered 1 through 8 or 1 through 9. It's in, I think, video 6, where she essentially puts the microfiche article on her camera. You can read the whole article. I saw a lot come out, just haven't been able to watch. Hey, Jack, good to see you here on a Friday. I was just going to talk about a few things and talk about K-Pro's video and some other stuff. We were talking about the video of the article that is supposedly the main article that convinced Jack it was at 9 Mile Hole. I read the article, and it's good. It has some information. I don't think that would be considered the slip up. I mean, first of all, when Jack mentioned the slip ups, he said it was slip ups Forrest made during interviews where reporters were at his house. So we know the first one, and we're pretty confident the first one is when he was talking about the Alzheimer's and fishing, and he trailed off and said, "Go to my favorite ... Pretty sure that is one of the slip ups. But this one I don't think is. I mean, this just happens to be an article that was written 50 years ago that's in the library in Temple. Because I think when Jack means slip up, he's talking about something Forrest said during an interview, right? Unless there's an interview that says something about his dad writing for Temple, Texas. Maybe there's an interview about that I can't recall. I don't know. So I guess that could be a slip up, but just the article alone, I don't think that would be considered a slip up. Hey, Amy, good to see you. So anyway, I had that thought, but it was cool to read the article nonetheless. But what it does tell us, it doesn't mention 9 Mile Hole, but it talks about it's really a fishing story, right? So it doesn't validate that even if that was 9 Mile Hole article, even though it doesn't say that, it doesn't necessarily mean that's where he hit it, because I'm sure there's articles that Marvin Fenn wrote about all kinds of different places that aren't 9 Mile Hole. So the fact that there's an article on 9 Mile Hole is not definitive that the chest would have been at 9 Mile Hole, even though I believe it was personally. I'm just saying, objectively looking at it, that article standing alone doesn't really prove or disprove anything. What it does show, though, interestingly enough, is how he refers to Brown with a capital B in the story. So that is important, in my opinion. I mean, the fact that his dad used a capital B to write about Brown, because most of the time he says German Brown and capitalizes G and B, but there was 1 or 2 instances where he just said Brown and it was a capital B. So I thought that was important. now the auction video was really cool. I mean, it was cool seeing all that stuff up close for the treasure deniers out there. Now they can compare. I mean, K-Pro got such good detail of that chest. I'm afraid people are going to look at the old pictures that aren't as detailed, and because they're not as detailed, are going to look slightly different from her close-up of the chest now, and they're going to still say it's fake. But hopefully not. I mean, that is the chest. I'm convinced that's the chest he hid, and I don't need any further convincing about that. Stressed about Christmas. Yeah, right, Amy. I can't believe it. Gosh, it's only 2.5 weeks away or whatever it is. I still got to get my kids something. Ugh. I've been sitting here at home, doing Amazon shopping because I can't with COVID. I'm just kind of stuck here. But anyway, so that was cool to see the chest, and then the olive jar real up close. You could make out a few words in there. That was cool. And then actually, I must admit, I guess after watching the video, I got the little mini gold fever and decided I'm going to go make a bid. And a couple of the coins I tried to bid on, they were immediately shot up. When I put in the bid, someone already had an automatic bid that was higher, and it already raised it up, $100, $200. But I was able to find a couple of items where I was able to put a bid in, and as of now, I'm the lead bid. But it's on smaller stuff. I'm not going to spend big money on this stuff, no way. But if I can get away with, one or two cheaper or less expensive, I wouldn't say cheap because none of it's cheap, but one or two more affordable items, then cool, I'll do that. Yeah, Amy, you'll get through that Christmas shopping. All that time and stress. I talk about this every year. All that time and stress, at least for me, because I'm single and I have my 3 kids. And you get all that shit set up, you get your tree, all that, your lights outside, and it's over in like 10 minutes. They come, they open the presents, and then that's it. But whatever, it's worth it, especially if you have kids. It's fun. I also want to address something. There's K-Pro and now Greg at Brutal Truth both seem to think I have some kind of information. I'm not sure where that comes from, but I don't have, guys, if you're listening to this, I don't have any information. Any little tidbits I may have gotten from Karl, I've put out. I've made them made them available. I got a tidbit from that other attorney in Texas. I made a short video on that and put it out. So other than what I've put out, there's nothing else that I know. I don't know squadoosh. Seriously. So, hey, Luli, welcome. Nice to see you here. So I just want to address that because I don't want people to, I don't have any information. I wish I did, but I don't. What else do I want to do? Oh, apparently they had some VIP meetings. So this is like really, a hierarchy or class level here. Because you get the people who can't go at all to see the chest. Then you have the people who have to be the top bidders. They get a chance to see the chest, but again, they have to be the top bidder. Then you have the influencers, and then at the top of the hierarchy, you have the VIP influencers. So as far as we know, I think the VIP influencers were Amy and Matt DeMoss, right? So, I mean, guys, we don't have to be rocket scientists here to figure this out. I mean, I've been saying for a year, right? I posted a poll on Thor a year ago as to who the entity was, and I said it was Justin. But come on, I mean, is there any coincidence that the only people we see here at this VIP is Amy Seeks, Matt DeMoss, and Cynthia? I mean, of course, Justin is the LLC, and whether any of Amy or DeMoss is part of it, maybe so. But I tend to think Amy is part of the LLC too, because my whole theory was that she's keeping the bracelet. I don't know, but in any event, it's obvious to me that Justin's the head of the LLC or a member of it. I mean, right? We don't know of any other people outside of the Nookers that were in the VIP or had special access. And then Rudy gets a coin sent to him in the mail. We know he was a Nooker and spent the summer with those guys. So, I mean, obviously, people aren't just going to be sending Rudy Green a coin for the hell of it if they weren't close friends, right? I mean, Rudy's a nice guy and all, don't get me wrong, but that's obviously who it is. Oh no, Luli, they have a new med that helps you cover faster. Oh, Luli, you got COVID too? Me too, dear. Me too. But I'm on the tail end. My first positive test was last week Tuesday. Now I've got pretty much every risk factor you can have. Unfortunately, I'm overweight. I'm an ex-smoker. I have a kidney transplant, so I'm immunocompromised. So it's lasted a long time. Luckily, it hasn't been as bad as it was for me the first time I got it. The first time I got it, I was in the hospital for a couple of days, but it hasn't been that bad for me. And the coughing has been a lot minor. The fever has been almost non-existent. I've had a couple small bouts of low-grade fever, but nothing too major. So luckily, it hasn't been bad. I think I'm on the upswing, even though I'm still positive. Rudy, you're only a half nooker? Yeah. Hey man, good for you that you got a coin. I'm not gonna give any hate on that. I got a couple bids in myself. We'll see how it goes. I don't know how long you've been on here, but I'm not gonna spend crazy money. But if I can get something that's pretty affordable, I'm gonna go ahead and get it just for memory for my son and I for searching out there all those times. It would be cool. But if not, that's fine too. I mean, I have other my own memories and photos and all that stuff, so I don't have to have. But it would be cool to have a little piece of the treasure. You're pretty bad today, Luli. I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, COVID's a weird sickness. I mean, now this is my second time. It's been different both times, and just within the time you're sick, it's different. You can feel pretty decent for 2 or 3 days, and then all of a sudden that next day you're feeling like total shit, and you got a fever of 101, and you have that for a day or two, and then you're back to normal. It's really strange. I mean, it's not a consistent thing, even within the one person. It's an inconsistent illness. Get plenty of rest, vitamin D, and maybe call your doctor. You can call in some meds. Mine got me zithromycin and prednisolone. And I started that about a day and a half, and I do feel better. Now, that could just be a result of it being a week and a half being sick, and it's already winding down. But my COVID test, the keep coming strong positives. So it seems like I'm still going to be positive for at least a couple more days. It'll be cool for the higher ups to give back. Everyone wants a piece of the treasure for memories. Yeah, Amy, I mean, I agree with the sentiment. The problem is, how do you think they could give back? I mean, obviously they spend like $1 million, right? So they can't just give it away to everybody. That's so, you can't expect that. What would you think they could do? Maybe like display it. I think part of the problem was, it seems like they bought the chest. What was it? End of September, early October, and then they did this with Heritage. And it's been a Heritage all this time, but it doesn't seem like they planned on the community before they did all that, right? So yes, you got to give them credit for at least allowing this amount of time, but it was kind of thrown in at the end. It feels like, right? Well, let's just squeeze it in. It wasn't at the top of the list, and I'm not saying it should be. It's just the way it was. So the idea of the winning bidder only being able to go, I think, is certainly something Heritage required. They don't want 1 million people going through there. Not that many. I mean, if they opened it up to everybody, how many people you think could actually go out there to Heritage this week and have gone? Less than 100. I mean, I'm certain of that, right? I mean, even now the winning bid, maybe I could have gone out, but I wouldn't have gone out there under any circumstance, probably, unless I could like maybe hold the chest, then I would go. But to see it through glass, I don't, I'm not going to get a plane ticket from Florida to Texas to go see it. I should, that part of it's not important to me. If I can't, I'd like to hold it. That'd be cool. And I understand. I'm not blaming the LLC. I know they can't let everyone hold it. They don't have to. But I'm just saying, personally, for me, I wouldn't go out there, you know, to view it through glass. It's just too much for me. Stuck. I've got his books and my secret decoder ring, so I'm good not getting a piece of gold as memory. Yeah, that's cool too. I mean, everyone to each their own. Like I said, I'm willing to spend a little bit, but nothing crazy. Maybe nothing too much. Couple hundred bucks. Okay, I'll consider that. I'm not spending a dime. Amy, what's funny is I wasn't going to spend a dime if Jack sold it, but the fact that it's out of Jack's hands, I'm willing to spend a little money. Because first of all, what you're buying, yeah, you're going to overpay for some, but you are getting gold, so it's not like you're not getting value. So you can always get rid of it at some other point in time. Hey Ben, welcome. Good to see you. Yes, I saw you on K Pro's picture laying down the grass. We got full press into Heritage with no paperwork or ID. Yeah, I saw you say that on the video, Rudy. That's crazy. See, it's one of those deals, they require all that stuff, and then you can end up probably could have just walked in without even a big no other. With Rudy, were there other displays? I saw a bunch of people in there. So were there other auction lots in that room that weren't Forrest Fenn's? No provenance on the chest. If we had a good ending, they would have made a fortune. Yeah, well, yeah, Luli. I mean, if things were different, I think Jack would have made a lot more money. But between Forrest passing away and the lawsuits holding stuff up, it's just my guess is Jack was advised just he had to hold it until the lawsuits were over. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that, but that's probably what his advice was. And the provenance, I mean, for me, the photos of Fenn with the chest and it being in the book and it being, photographed by Jack, all that's enough for me. I mean, I believe the chest is real, and I believe it's the same chest that we all have seen over the years. There's a big room with lots of people working on coins and such. Oh, really? Only photos of FF, nothing else. Huh, interesting. Well, I'm sure it was a cool experience. Looked like you guys had a good time. Oh, and thank I'm glad K Pro and Sam and Nemo shared all that information. That was cool. I talked about earlier the article. That was neat. Yeah, I saw that. Hey, respect for holding to your principles, Ben. That's cool. It would have been tough for me to be out there and not gone in if I got invited in and I was right there. So good for you, man. But yeah, I was talking about it was like a hierarchy, right? We got everyone else who can't go. Then you got the bidders that are winning bids, which has got to be, I mean, probably not that many people, even though there's a lot of items. I would imagine a small number of people are winning bidders on many, many items. And then you have K Pro's influencer meeting, but then you had the VIP meeting. So, my guess is the VIP meeting was a VIP meeting of the LLCers, because I'm convinced Amy's part of the LLC, but I could be wrong. I don't know. I have no direct information. Ben was a top tier protester. Yeah. Exactly. And in principle, I don't dig the influencer thing either. I mean, I don't really like that. It'd be nice if the LLC, and again, it would be nice. They owe us nothing. But if if Justin or whoever can answer questions, and we get, instead of some cryptic covert YouTube handle under Treasure Sagrado giving us information, and just say, hey, what's the deal with this influencer thing? Why couldn't everybody just come and view the chest? Like I said, even if it was open up to everybody, I don't think more than 100 people would have shown up during the week. There just isn't that many people that would do that. I flew out to Wyoming 8 times from Florida, and I wouldn't do that. I was very dedicated, invested searcher. I still probably wouldn't have done that. Hey, Packer Jack, good to see you. Welcome. Rudy is consistent and persistent. Yeah, he definitely sticks to it. That's cool about the stick, Rudy. I can't believe you found it. I haven't seen the picture because I'm not on Discord anymore. I was like the first few days, and then I had to leave because I was doing some other stuff on Discord. But I have no reason to doubt you and what people are saying. It's crazy. It's unbelievable, believable. You're right. It's one little area it could have been in if he left it there, and that's where it was. So I guess, but there have been people out there. It's nice that no one stepped on it or cracked it or anything. Zillions of sticks out there all the same. Yeah, I'm sure they all pretty much look the same. And Shy Guy, the owners of the LC must have failed marketing 101. I'm not gonna go that far, but what I will say is I think, and maybe I'm completely wrong, but my thought is, look, how much does the LLC want to get? If they spent $1 million, it'd be nice if they made $1 million back, right? Or a little profit, 100 grand. So they could just label everything a certain price to get like a buy it now, and I think they would have made their money back for sure. If you tell the people what it costs, they're going to pay it. But if you leave it up to the people, they're going to leave it. They're going to keep it down. I think this is a different type of auction. I don't think you don't have 1 million people, bidding on all these items. It's a matching stick. It's crazy, but it's true. Twigonometry. That's funny, Jack. Packer Jack. That one's funny. But I really think if they would have labeled each item with a preset, price, they would have done better. Because really, think about it. You can, if anything they get, if you add 20%, they could have added that to their price because that's what people are paying, right? Whatever's being sold, people are paying an extra 20% on top of that. And that's 20% they're not realizing it. Maybe it was a convenience thing. The thing was already at Heritage. They just said, screw it, we'll do an auction. But they probably should have just labeled each single item a dollar amount, and that was it. People would have bought it. If they said this gold dust is $500, it would have sold, guaranteed, no problem. This golden eagle is going to be $4 grand. They all would have sold. Did you use the wood grain to match up the photos from the original stick like F with Sitting Bull's pipe? Man, Rudy gets a lot of hate for going out there finding these things. He takes it in stride. You got to give it to him. Not to mention they're giving coins away. Well, I don't know about coins, plural. They gave Rudy a coin. If you're talking about giving coins to the influencers, I think K-Pro had already said that was just a joke that they were playing on Ben because he wouldn't come in. But that was just a joke. It wasn't true. I'm a proponent of Sitting Bull pipe being a fake. Well, right before the auction, Ben, there was all like $1 million, and what it sold for about 40 grand, 50 grand, something like that. So that's pretty far from $1 million. So for some reason, it wasn't $1 million, probably because they couldn't prove where it came from, is my guess. But if it was, so was it even sold as Sitting or just purported to be Sitting Bulls? I don't even know how they sold it. I can't remember. Now, apparently, oh, and K-Pro in the video, I commented on the video, but around 24 minutes, last night's video, she totally slipped. I think she said something like Justin, she goes, we're in lockstep with the family. And she goes, and Justin said, and then she backtracked like, oh, no, Shiloh. But if you listen to the context of what she was saying, it wasn't Shiloh, because she was talking about the handle of Tesoro Sagrado. She wasn't talking about Shiloh. So I think she gave away that Justin was the entity. Not that it's, it's the worst kept secret in the chase, but I laughed harder at Fenn's proof. Yeah. He used it as a prop for his gallery. He looked at that $2 pipe I have. You can't buy it. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's no difference what is going on in the chase now and what FF did with the pipe. Jack Nooker's screwed up big on the sale of chess. Shit show. Yeah, I mean, look, the other thing is now we're what, 2.5 years out since the find. I mean, no one on earth cares about this chest except the searchers, and that group is whittled down to a few hundred that we see here. I mean, it's just, they definitely could have made more money. I mean, I don't, Toby was talking like 7-8 million back in the day. I'm like, I think that's crazy talk, but I think if it was all done properly, certainly could have scored a couple million off of it. And no book, no, no nothing. I mean, but hey, Jack wanted to do shit his way. I mean, and he got some payday and he's out, and now he's enjoying his life in Puerto Rico or Nashville or wherever the hell he is. So, more power to him. I care about the story. Yeah, I mean, the olive jar is going to be interesting. I mean, I hate to be, in that camp, but I personally don't think it's going to have much of anything in it. Certainly no monster revelation or anything. The most I think we can hope to get is the solution. But I certainly don't think there's going to be any type of, admission of Kennedy or DB Cooper or anything like that. Whether it's true or not, I'm not even arguing the validity of it. I'm just saying I don't think it's going to be in the olive jar. But I hope I'm wrong. I hope there's something massive in there. That'd be fantastic. I mean, that'd be great. And as far as I'm still here, it's not even the story for me. I believe 9 Mile Hole, but I want the confirmation from Shiloh, from Jack, which I will never get from Jack, or the family, or yeah, Shiloh and the family, or the lawyer, Karl. That's what I like. Or a video. If that meeting with Jack at Hanasco's office was videotaped and they're talking about the solution, that would be fantastic. It's all a game. And what is fed to YouTubers is a script, narrative. I mean, Queen, I know a lot of people believe that. I certainly don't believe it. And I mean, I'm a very small YouTuber. I'm certainly not on any script. That's for sure. And I don't think anybody else is either. I think we've seen the YouTubers, they've had ups and downs. They've been at odds with each other. They've been in good graces with each other. They've been at odds with the family and good graces with the family. These are just normal relationships, I think. I don't think certainly anyone's script. Well, I wouldn't call us normal, but you know what I mean. No one's going to talk with all the awful stuff going on in the chase. 9 Mile Hole sucks. Yeah, I mean, I don't like it. Look, I'm kind of like K-Pro. I can't stand the spot. I think, unfortunately, Forrest, man, I don't want to say he was lying, but he certainly said things that don't fit, right? And, we don't have to go over it all. We all know what it is. Specialized knowledge, all this stuff, searchers being less than 200 feet. Just a lot of stuff that doesn't fit. But at the end of the day, it looks like, I mean, the name of fish is brown? How the hell are we going to know that? I mean, not all YouTubers. Well, I mean, I look, I know who you're saying. I mean, we don't have to. You're probably saying Ben and K Pro. I mean, because, and I'm just talking factually. I'm not talking as a way to argue or put anyone down. But the people who have those thoughts, Queen, like you yourself, Shy Guy, maybe Greg, I don't know. But these are the people who think who are against the K Pro group, the Ben group, Copper Dan group, So that's probably who you're talking about. But there are a lot of people in your camp believe that. So, I mean, I don't think there's really any reason to believe it, just other than a belief without any evidence. I don't think there's any evidence that anyone's being paid or has a script or is doing something, Redneck Express, okay, he's in your camp. German brown trout, yeah. The B, well, you're a little late. I don't know your name there with the little character, but German brown trout. Yeah, the article was interesting. And even though I believe 9 Mile Hole, I think that article is nothing but a article about a spot that Marvin liked to fish on the Madison. Doesn't mention 9 Mile Hole. It could be anywhere. And the fact that that article exists is not any evidence that the chest, that's the article used by Forrest to refer to the chest, right? Or that he referenced by the chest. All it does is talk about Brown with a capital B, which is interesting. But it does say the Madison. It says, along the rocks. The implication is it's a 9 Mile Hole by the Big Fenn Rock, but who knows? It could be anywhere on the Madison. Fake coin, which Dak, which coin is fake? All of them? The CIA is only fed what they need to know. The CIA, you think the CIA has involvement in this chase? Fenn was a marketing genius. Oh, really? That talks about 9 Mile Hole? Is that an article from the library or from the fishing log that Marvin had? Right, Amy, I understand. And look, I've never met K Pro. I've been in her chat. I've emailed with her and Mike a handful of times over the years, and that's it. So I have no opinion about them one way or the other, except whatever. But why is what she's telling us automatically discredited? I mean, let's face it, she's been talking about heritage for over a year, and it came to light to be true. I mean, that's a fact, right? I mean, I think she's still being persecuted for that GPS solve, right? From a couple years ago, whenever it was. I mean, yeah, that was wrong. Absolutely. She was wrong about that. But everything, all this other stuff has been correct. As far as the chase, the personal issue she has with Ben or with Candy or whoever, that's different. I don't care. I mean, that's their, her issue, their issue. They can discuss that. But as far as the chase, she's been pretty right on. A newspaper that can be found on newspapers.com, basically the same research. Oh, I see. Huh. Interesting. I didn't know that. I'm gonna have to get back in the Discord. I think, like I said in another stream, I said I didn't want to get entrenched again in the chase and all that because I got away from it pretty well. I'm not going live till I have news to share from my source I've been waiting on. Who has validated? Amy, she mentioned, you don't remember a year ago when all the Entity Gate happened with Justin and Packer Jack, right? And then she came out and said it's at Heritage Auction being, and then Steve Klein and a bunch of people called Heritage. Nope, there's no chest. Nope, there's no chest. Even as recently as November 10th or 11th, the day of the auction, people are calling Heritage saying there's no chest. But she was right. November 11th, just like she said, there's an auction for the chest and its contents. So she was absolutely right about that. Again, Her lying about searchers and other people, that's between you guys. I don't, it's not my issue. Because it was planned, probably because she was creating the narrative. How can she create the narrative? She doesn't own the chest. I don't understand. The CIO of Heritage is in the Discord chatting right. Oh, really? Yeah, I heard that he or she had been in there. Well, I'd be pretty happy if my bids hold. I know they're not going to hold. I did one of those little extension bids in case someone overbids. It keeps overbidding. I appreciate the work that they did to try and find what Jack was looking for at the library. Right. I mean, right. Exactly. That's cool. And even if they're doing it for themselves, for selfish reasons, I don't care because it's information that I'd like to know. So I'm cool with it. Amy, what does that mean? Well, no one owns a chest if it doesn't exist. The chest is at Heritage Auction. We all saw it. Why do you say the chest doesn't exist? That's what I don't get. Everyone read Charles Brooks' book called Fishing Yellowstone Waters, page the details how locals West Hill feel about 9 Mile Hole plus other locations. Robert, I'm not going to read it, but in short, are you saying that it supports 9 Mile Hole as a theory for where the chest was? Or are you saying it's anti 9 Mile Hole? Just so I can cut to the chase with you and know what we're talking about, because I'm not going to pull the book and read it. You saw a picture. Amy, we saw a video, right, at Heritage Auction with tons of people walking around, badges, outside Heritage Auction. Ben was there. I mean, why? I don't understand how you're saying that wasn't there. Rudy was there. Sam, Nemo. Okay, so you're saying it supports the fact that it could have been at 9 Mile Hole. Okay, that's cool. I haven't read the book. I'm not familiar with it. And like I said, just being honest, I probably won't read it, but thank you for the information. Some other people might be interested to read it. All a fake to tell a story that's 60 years old. All right, look, I'm not making fun. I just want to get the framework of what we're dealing with here. So Queen Anne and Amy, are you guys telling me that K-Pro and Ben were not at Heritage Auction, that they were not inside Heritage Auction filming, and that they were not inside filming the chest with the coins and all the contents? Is that your position? Now, I just want to know for our discussion here where you're coming from, because I don't want to, counter you if I don't have the information from you correct. I mean, I saw a chest, in the video. I go to Heritage Auction on their website, of which K-Pro has no control. And the website shows all of the coins and the contents. So the only truth is that Ben was outside on the lawn, but Ben was filmed by K-Pro. So obviously K-Pro was there, right? Because that's the picture you have is from K-Pro. Howard Black, Waters of Yellowstone with Rod and Fly detail. Oh. Only that area while the park was burning in 88. Wow. Okay. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, that's just outlandish. It's a pretty far out theory. Given everything we've seen. Queen, if that's not what you're saying, then please, explain what you're saying. I'm not, we're here having a discussion. I'm happy to talk about it, but I need to know, detailed what your position is. I don't know. I mean, people say, Jack's fake. Obviously, Jack's not fake. He's a human being with skin and bones and a heartbeat. And So don't tell me Jack's fake. When someone's got, you got to be specific. What do you mean when you tell me Jack is fake? That his name's not Jack Stoof? That he didn't exist? I mean, that's all crazy talk. There are records of the man dating way back. So this is why I need clarification, because I can't understand those arguments that Jack is fake. Like, Pam Shetron made that argument that he's as real as the writer who created him. What the hell does that mean? Charles Brooks and the locals would never fish a spot for all the golden form. No place for the meek was below 9 Mile, but above 7 Mile. The chest was pulled. Okay, well, that's fine. But Luli, the chest was pulled is a different argument than the chest is fake at Heritage. Amy's saying media and marketing and editing is amazing. She's saying the chest doesn't even exist at Heritage. Right? That's what she's saying. That's not the same as what you're saying, Luli. The chest may have been pulled. Fine. I'm not going to argue that point. But my point is the chest is sitting at Heritage Auction right now. So, Amy, okay, how can a human being be fake? Please clarify what you mean by that. He's obviously a human being. He's a real person. The truth will come out possibly with the blue box. That LBG said, what? All right, Queen, you're a little on the deep end, dear. I don't know what to tell you. The government has nothing to do with this. Okay, you agree that chess is real. Thank you. That's all I'm getting at, right? Because she's saying it's not even real, that it's not at Heritage, even though all that shit's on the website. Amy Gwynn, have you not seen a human being standing there? Have you not seen him on video? Have you not seen him on video on YouTube from 2010 on an RT video? If you do records research, you can find his name dating back to whenever. His family's from Hazel Park, Michigan. You can see his application for Puerto Rico. He's obviously a real person. I mean, I don't, it's been verified. The government of Puerto Rico verified it. I mean, his name's all out. You can find information on him and his family. Copper Dan is the only, that's not true, Tim K. Forrest Fenn was pictured with him. Come on, dude. Yes, Jack Stoof, Amy. Yeah, that's who we're talking about. Right, Tim? So his name's not Jack Stoof, or he is Jack Stoof? I mean, guys, I don't want to take a dark turn here because I am starting to get a little bit aggravated. If he's an actor, well, yeah, right, Ben? I mean, that's a good point. Sure, be mad at Forrest. But when we start talking about the government's involved in this, it goes a little too far. That goes into cuckoo land. I'm sorry. That's truth. Charles Brooks fished with Marvin and Forrest and Skippy. Interesting. Well, they could do overlay site to make you think you're on Heritage site hackers. Oh, come on, Tim. You don't really believe that. Oh my God. I'm just, I don't know, man. As we get as more evidence supports the narrative, the crazier and outlandish the theories get against it. Because they have to be crazy, because there's so much evidence that the conspiracy to rebut it has to be insanity. It has to be so big because there's so much evidence supporting the real narrative. That's how it works. he can't even spell his. Oh, he can spell his name. The guy's a writer. Stop it. It's nonsense. That's the dumbest argument, that he can't spell his name. Oh, Jesus. And if anyone really, I mean, look, we all have fun here. But if you honestly believe that Jack Stoof cannot spell his own name, okay, you're nuts. Sorry. Period. The guy has a fucking medical degree, okay? You don't think he can spell his name? Get the hell out of here. Jesus. I mean, it's just pure stupidity. Does anyone here have the balls to actually say Jack Stoof does not know how to spell his own name? Tim, because every letter in the alphabet is used. So basically, anyone who doesn't have the letter X in their name can be found in the poem. Another ridiculous comment. No, he did not sign. He signed it the way he signed it. Jack was a real searcher. Yeah, he may have signed it incorrectly on purpose, but when you look at it, it's just a curve and a curve. All those three letters, the E and the U, and the curve to the E and to the U are all the same. He knows how to spell his name. Now stop it. It's just when someone says things like that. I mean, not that your theory has any credibility, anyways, in my eyes, but it just makes it so much worse. I swear, it's Packer Jack. The Jack is real good. I'm glad I'm not seeing some phantom on my screen. That it's a human being there. They could put you up, you'll be like a Coachella with Tupac, right? They have the holograph. Maybe we've been looking at a Packer Jack holograph all this time. Why has it taken 2 years to get high definition pictures? So what, Galaxy? So what? Because they didn't want to give it to you. But yeah, Galaxy, and it's not just you, man. Look, I'm no dummy. I know who's legitimately what I would consider cuckoo, and those are just fucking around, not really. And I'm not going to delineate because I'm not trying to be rude or hurt anyone's feelings. So I just lump everybody together. But I know. And then there's people screwing around. There's cuckoo, and then there's legit mentally unwell. That's another group. But no names. I'll just clump them all in the same group like that. It's not being specific to anybody. The curve in the E is obvious. He spelled it. Yeah, I mean, that's how he spelled it. But, I don't take that. That doesn't, I don't know, man. I just don't see anything into that at all. The only thing about Jack, and I'll get all you guys crazy, is every time I see him, he looks different. Every time I've seen him, he looks different. You got that overweight picture of him with the glasses and the afro on RT. Then you got this like kind of polished, preppy-ish looking guy with a nice shirt and watch at the office with Fenn. Then you got this more slender, diminutive guy meeting Copper Dan at the airport. I've had a source feeding me info for what is to come after the auction. I need to wait and see that they're right first. Some of the smartest people have zero common sense. Ben read in the script. I'm the Lone Ranger, brother. I don't work for anybody. I don't push any narrative. I call it the way I see it. And that's the way I see it. I think Jack found it. If Forrest, I don't have much of an opinion. Did Forrest tell him? I don't think so, but he could have. Perhaps he pulled it. But after that, the narrative is as it goes. Jack had the chest for 2 years. He sold it to the LLC. The real chest is at Heritage. The real gold is at Heritage. End of story. What the only question in my mind is maybe Forrest had him pull it, but even that's minimal in my mind. But I will give that as a possibility. Galaxy, there's many copies of the chest. Vanetti made several. There's the one at the Detroit Institute of Art. There's one guy on YouTube who made a chest just like that for $25,000. Well, see, Amy, that's the problem. You just because someone upset you, you can't look at it objectively. You don't have, a lot of people can't do that. They let their personal feelings for someone cloud their view of what they are or how to interpret what they say. You can't be objective because you're upset at her for whatever reason. I'm not siding with her or you. I don't know why you're mad at her. I mean, I vaguely remember some stuff back when you were on Greg's channel, but that's why so nothing forever. She tells you, well, you believe, even if it's true. I mean, it's just, yeah, there's replica chests out there. What does that have to do with anything? I'm saying what makes her the know-all. Because she's been right, Amy. I mean, this is a circle. We already went in a loop here. She might not be okay. Again, you guys aren't separating her chase information over her personal relationships. I don't give a shit about her personal relationships. I'm here for the chase information. And when she gives chase information, it's been accurate, except for the GPS. But everything about the sale and the auction, it's all been accurate. And you can't deny it. That's a fact. That's a fact. Back in May or June, she goes, look for a sale to happen somewhere in August or September. That's when it happened, the last week of September. Then she came out about the auction and everyone gave her shit, called the auction house, and what do you know? November 11th, auction open, just like she said. I mean, she was right. Stuck's new glasses seeing eye dog is on back order. Stuck's new glasses seeing eye dog on back order due to COVID. Of course, Amy, she knew ahead of time, right? So what does that mean? Of course she knew. Hey, Luck, good to see you. Of course she could. If someone's giving information about what's going to happen, obviously they know ahead of time. I don't understand what point you're making. That's because they told her. No, Amy, that's not the only. See, you're limiting it. That's just wrong. That is not the only way she could know. The people who own the chest told her. The people who own the chest told Cynthia and asked Cynthia to tell her. That's how she knows. What can you why is that hard to understand and grasp? I mean, doesn't mean she's behind it. It means she's privy to information that you can't stand that she has this information that you're not the one getting it. That's the problem all these people have. They just don't like that someone's been chosen as the one with the information, and that's the way it is. I don't necessarily like it either, but you guys suck it up and deal with it because there's no other option. She was right about auction, but wrong about so many other things. Okay, other than the GPS. I mean, people say there's so many other things. There was the GPS. What else? Again, I don't care about stuff she said about other searchers. I'm not condoning it. I'm just saying it's not important to me. Those are issues between those searchers and her. That's for them to figure out. I don't know if, did Ben steal a book or is K-Probe making it up? I don't know. I don't know. That's not my call. I wasn't there. I can't tell you. They work that out as they wish. That's between them. Did Cynthia do this to Candy? I don't know. I wasn't there. That's for them to figure out. But as far as the chase, she has been chosen as the one to put out the information. Now, that may be changing now that we've had this recent dialogue between Shiloh and Candy. Maybe something happened. Maybe, maybe Shiloh doesn't want to go through Cynthia and K-Pro anymore. I don't know. Maybe he decided he's picking someone else. And that's his prerogative. He can pick Candy if he wants. I personally don't think it's a great idea, not because it's Candy. I just don't think the family should be, Shiloh should be doing something like that. He can set up his own, his own YouTube channel. He could set up he can go through Karl, whatever. Jack signed the map right-handed. He is a lefty. That is why the signature is so poor. I don't know if that's true or not, Dak. I mean, I don't know. Actually, you know what? Dak, if I recall, in the pictures with Fenn, his watch is on his left hand, isn't it? That would make him righty. Except the minds and hearts of the Chase community. Hey, Packer Jack, I'm not accusing anybody. I'm just trying to make a point that that's not my, I don't have a dog in that fight. Ben and K-Pro are big adults. They can work out their own issues. That's not, I don't have a side there to pick. And I've said this before, in a perfect world that we all would get along, everyone would believe, and it'd be great. But, that's not life. Human beings are all different, and we don't all have to be friends. We don't all have to like each other. We don't have to. It's not a big deal. People take it too personally. I mean, you don't like me, that's fine. Don't watch and heckle me. I don't care. We don't have to like each other. It'd be nice, but that's not realistic. Forrest was very upset at the coin mark. He spoke out about it. Yeah, Luli, I agree with that, right? I'm not denying that. I saw that email. Sasha released it a couple years ago, or a few years ago, and he wasn't happy about it. But then they made a second run, which he approved, and then they did Chaseopoly, which he approved. So as much as it bothered him, apparently, he was okay with the marketing of the Chase, which overrode his concern about the commercial nature of it. Because otherwise he wouldn't have okayed the Chaseopoly. He got his own Chaseopoly game. So I think that email, see, this is okay. This is an issue I have with a lot of searchers. And the one that jumps to mind is Granny, because he always points to the December 7th, 2019 email where Forrest is talking about pulling the chest. But he never refers to the end of that email where Forrest made it sound like he wasn't going to pull the chest, right? I mean, he just picks one little thing, but forgets all of the other stuff. Am I related to Troy? No, definitely not. I'm not related to anybody in the Chase other than my son. But anyways, Luli, if you look at it in totality, yeah, he sent that letter, but there was so much that came after that letter. Obviously, he was okay with it, right? I mean, he allowed the silver coins, the Chaseopoly. Then he gave them an interview in November of 2019, a personal, special, like full day interview. So clearly, Forrest was not that upset if he did all that. Man, the people who don't like K-Pro hold on to that email like it's freaking gold, right? I mean, it's just, but when you look at the whole thing, it's not that way. Forrest, however Forrest felt about K-Pro, he kept allowing them to give them access. That's it. Forrest could have pulled the plug. I mean, I remember Sasha coming out saying that K-Pro's not even allowed in the house. Well, 3 months later or 6 months later, she's doing an interview over there with them. So, I mean, who knows? They lied to Forrest? I mean, I don't know. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. He was very upset, but okay. But again, he wasn't that upset because he continued dealing with them. It wasn't a priority for him. His priority was marketing the Chase, period. Whatever that took, that necessary evil comment or email. because promoting the chase was the priority, period. And if that meant maybe he had to deal with things he didn't like, then he would deal. But he could have at any point, taken the noble road and said, no, I'm not going to deal with them anymore if he was that unhappy with them. Well, that's true, Galaxy. That one wasn't. Point is, she just made it, he still gave the interview. It doesn't matter if she went to the house or not. He was still allowing access. The totality of it is that he allowed access even after the email. Period. I won't block you at any point, Galaxy. I don't block people, man. You can crack on me, just no hate type speech, no getting nasty with other chatters. But other than that, I'm not blocking anyone. I don't care what you say about me. But it's the totality of the circumstances we got to look at, not one little individual moment, one little email. It's all of it. So when he allows the coins, then sends them the bad email that he's upset, then they do the silver coins, then they do the chaseopoly, then we have the email about it being a necessary evil, and then we have allowing the interview in November of 2019. All of that together tells me he might not have been totally happy with their actions, but he allowed it for the benefit of the chase. Period. Dr. Crummy? Of course you are. Me? No one's ever called me Dr. Crummy. Why are you dogging me, Davia? Hey, Rob. Welcome, bud. Rob, I'm glad you showed up. I was watching your video yesterday, and I got to ask you, I disagreed with one of the quotes you were referring to. Respectfully, of course, but you had mentioned that walking miles. Now, I will disclose to you, I do believe it was 9 Mile Hole, but I'm not asking you to support my theory. I'm just trying to clear up if you're talking about the same thing I think you're talking about. You were referring to walking miles from the chest, from the car where he parked to where the chest was. I don't think Forrest ever said that. My recollection of the quote was that if you're walking more than a few miles, you're walking too far. That was the quote. But it wasn't that it is a few miles from the car to the chest. That's not what he said in my recollection. We'll find another name that's very Dr. Of course, if you hire someone, there's a contract, can it be redacted? You can terminate a contract, Queen Anne. I guess you have to look at the terms of the contract to see how you terminate it. Or if someone breaches the contract, you can terminate it. Yeah, I won't block them. Hey, Rudy, thanks, man. I get worked up, but sometimes it sounds like rude or being an asshole. Really, I'm not. I mean, I am sometimes, I guess, but I just get worked up. That's all. I get it. We've all been in this. I was passionate about it. I still have it in me when I talk about it. That passion still comes out. I mean, I don't have to tell you guys, we all invested everything into this for years. And in my view, when I see something that's just nuts or out there, I kind of say it. And it upsets me, not just as a searcher, but it upsets me as a citizen, as a human, because I know people think like this out there, and it scares me. Sorry. You sound like Dr. Crumpy. Who's Dr. Crumpy? Are you just making that name up? I don't understand, Damian. I don't understand, dude. I don't know why you're hassling me. I don't even say anything about your dog solve. Stuck is right. Thanks, Luck. Yeah, I mean, that's one thing. And again, I'm not saying I'm anything super special. I'm sure a lot of people, but I'm very good about the quotes because if I don't know it pretty much 100%, I'll tell you that. But if I know it, I'll tell you that too, and I'll be right. That one I'm sure of. Now there could be, if I missed something, he said it somewhere else, so be it. But the well-known quote is, if you're walking more than a few miles, the key word being few, because if you can it'd be 100 feet is less than a few miles, right? I'm sorry, less than is the key two words. You're walking less than a few miles or more than shit. But well, now I got to redo it. Now I confused myself. I enjoy your thoughts, Rob. Yeah, thanks, Rob. See, hey, if I'm wrong, I admit it too, man. I appreciate that. Oh, David Crump. Yeah, David Crump's a searcher, right? I've seen him. I've never heard him. I didn't. You must mean I'm saying the kind of stuff he posts. I guess is what you're saying, right, Davia? I guess that's what. Because I haven't heard David Crump speak, but maybe he has. All right, Davia, that's cool, man. Again, I don't care if you do hassle me. That's fine too. I'm sorry, Mister. Works. Yeah, yeah. I'm surprised that we got this many people here on the middle of the afternoon. That's pretty cool. I thought I'd be having like 5 people here on a Friday. Because usually I do a night stream, or maybe on a weekend I'll come on. But I'm just bored. I've been playing, these sick days. I've been trying to keep up with work from home, but also I've been playing a lot of spades on cardgames.io. I've been playing tons of spades, so I want to give myself a break from doing that. Sorry you're sick. Hope you feel better. Yeah, sure, Amy. What the hell? Something a little different. What is your best solid clue? I mean, Davio, my solution was wrong, man. So if you mean 9 Mile Hole, is no solid clue. I go back to what I said earlier. It's the totality of the circumstances. You know, it's everything put together that tells me 9 Mile Hole. I don't like it any more than anyone else. I can't stand it. As Rudy might say, glad you logged in to fill a gap today. You're welcome. There's a joke in there, but I'll leave that one alone. I'm not gonna. We'll go there. It's a family show during the day. Yeah, Davio's in chat. He's like 6 above you. What was I saying? Shit. I lost my train of thought there. Oh, best solid clue, Davio. Gotcha. I mean, yes, it's the totality of everything put together. I mean, we've Karl. Look, I know people hate lawyers. Okay, I get it. We got Karl Summer in court saying that it was at Yellowstone National Park. We have the government attorney talking about it. I mean, we have the email showing that Jack was at 9 Mile Hole, convinced, and told Forrest he was convinced it was at 9 Mile Hole. The evidence is pretty overwhelming that that's where it was. We have the Yellowstone top ranger, the chief ranger at Yellowstone. Account suspended. Oh, this is probably a scam. Probably okay. I got the chief ranger at Yellowstone involved. Troy goes on in his videos about how, well, she would be involved because it's Department of Interior. That's nonsense. That's not correct. Those videos that Troy makes about Sarah Davis and her involvement leaves out the most important thing, is the SERPA regulation, which is System Unit Resource Protection Act, which applies to system units as defined. When you look up system units, right, Doesn't include the wheel, the big horns. It's a specific places. There's about, I posted them all on Thor. I don't know how many there were. And when it came to national parks, there's only two: the Teton, Grand Teton, and Yellowstone. And we all know nobody is here hollering that the chest was at Grand Teton National Park. So that's the only other option. Tim, we losing you, bud? Oh, all right, man. See you later. Thanks for stopping by. And every river's, then why not take the chest then if it's not? I'm sorry, Rob, I don't understand that question. If it is, why not take the chest? Who do you mean? Because the park probably, look, that's another fallacy that Troy has. Just because someone does it, they do have discretion. Okay, they don't have to arrest you. The bottom line is the whole procedure is for the chest to be turned in just to be given to Forrest anyways. So nothing, at no point, in my opinion, would that chest be confiscatable, right? Maybe only for a period of time, but nonetheless, it would still make its way back to Forrest. The government would never get the chest. People want to talk about forfeiture laws and all this stuff. No, I don't think so. So the government probably said, look, you don't reveal it, we'll just, whatever, no harm done. You were the finder, you gave it to Forrest, it's his chest. Forrest is saying it was his chest. There's no harm done here. When you see it's if I picked up a wallet with no credit cards and no money in it and just a license, and I took it to the guy who was on the license, the value of the find in the park has a zero effect on whether the law has been broken or not. Do you think they're going to arrest me too? No. They have the option to let me be and give the wallet to the guy if they want. They don't want to screw with it. Just like a police officer, when he pulls you over, if he's in a good mood, he'll say, "Hey, don't worry about it. Go on your way, or I'll give you a warning." He doesn't have to. It's in their discretion. It's the same thing with the deputy, the ranger. They don't have to arrest Jack. They don't have to arrest Forrest or charge them. I mean, everyone makes a big deal about the guy digging. Yeah, he was digging in a freaking graveyard. It's a lot different. It's a lot different. You can't compare them. So, Rob, that's why they didn't take the chest. First of all, because it was Forrest, and they knew it was going to get back to Forrest, and it would have been more hassle than it was worth to deal with it when it was just going to end up back with Forrest anyways. No, Davio, we have what I just told you. That's what we have. If you want to call it vague, that's on you. Or if you want to call it, it's only a suggestion, that's on you. But what we have is what I said. And that's in-court argument by Karl Summer and emails between Jack and Forrest. That's what we got. And the log that Rudy found and the pictures, in my opinion, the log matches the pictures that Jack sent to Forrest. Okay. If you want to argue that wasn't at 9 Mile Hole, that's fine. But in my opinion, I denied it at first just because I didn't want to believe it, but that log's the same log. People got fined for just taking a rock. That's all nonsense. Sometimes they do, Rob, maybe, but doesn't mean every time. People have blown up the whole Yellowstone stuff. Made it sound like it's freaking, communist Russia back in Yellowstone. I mean, Jesus. Yes, they might, people make, if you have a rock in your pocket, they might make you, they could fine you. They could, but most of the time, they'll probably just ask you to dump it out and don't do it again. Yeah, all emails were picked by Zoe. Now she's a liar too. She's going to lie in court and sign a fraudulent affidavit, Davio. You have to accept you're wrong, buddy. It's the only way for you to move forward. I mean, really. And I don't say it to be a dick. I'd say it to, hoping you can find some peace, man. But you got to accept you were wrong. That's the bottom line. And I expect everyone's. I respect everyone's right to have an opinion, Amy. I do. I don't have to respect the opinion itself, though. But your right to have an opinion, absolutely. I respect that 100%. Glenna, I'm with you. You know, I hope so too. I mean, we'll, time will tell. But here we are 2.5 years later, and it's debatable. Apparently, obviously, what we know. Some people believe one thing, others believe other things. We don't know if we are wrong, Stug. Yeah, Rob, you do, bud, because you don't have the chest. That's all. The only proof you need that you were wrong, my friend. You don't have the chest, man. You were wrong. It wasn't in your spot. Don't you see that every single person, that all these people still think they were right? Obviously, you all can't be right. You got to agree with that, right? So why the hell why would anyone think, why would you be the one who solved it? Come on, man. If I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. But as I've said many times, Rob, the logic and evidence tells me that I'm not wrong. Tells me. I mean, obviously, you think something else, that's fine. But it's the old, it's kind of a silly argument, but it's strong. If you had the right spot, where's the chest? Oh, your spot is wrong. Okay, well then good. Hey, I'm glad you agree with that. Oh, okay. I don't remember that, Rob. I'm sorry. Everyone can't be right, Amy. That's the thing. And you know what? That's the other that's the other big misconception. The people that are left, most of them are only left because they're conspiracy people. The big group. Out of 300,000 people, we only have about a few hundred that are around. So it's not everyone. It's less than 1%, okay, of the searchers. It's a very minuscule amount of people that believe the way you guys believe. It only seems like a lot because there's only a small number of people left. I don't have the chest. Yeah, Rob. Yeah, get in line, bro. I don't either. I wish I did, man. I wish I did. I never said you were the solver. I said I didn't. I don't remember you saying you admitted you were wrong. Wouldn't that be a way to stick it to the government and say, yeah, I buried it in Yellowstone, and are you going to do about it? And they do nothing. Okay, makes sense to me, Oz. That's exactly right. No, Amy, see, nobody has a piece of the puzzle. I don't, you don't. No. Everyone wants to be important, right? You don't have a piece. I don't have a piece. Nobody has a piece. The only people that have the piece of the puzzle at most is Shiloh, the family, Karl Summer, Hanasco, and Stoof. And that's it. Anybody maybe they have told, but that's it. Us searchers, no peace. We want to have more importance than we really do. We want to be in the know. That's why everyone gets mad at Cynthia and K-Pro. And Ben, too. Ben gets a lot of hate for being someone in the know. I'm in the I don't know. So, and I still get hate. I believe we just had, well, I agree with that, Glenna. I agree. The problem is the only person that solved the poem was Jack, and it's questionable if he even did that. I mean, I tend to be in the camp where he just said it's at 9 Mile Hole and he just searched the crap out of it until he found it. That's what I think. I don't think he actually found the blaze or any of that. I didn't think there were two chests before you. Well, of course, Galaxy, because your point, I would use you just posted as support for my point. Because it's only until the dream ends that the conspiracies start to build. As long as that chest is out there and everyone's dream is possible of finding that chest and being the famous searcher who found it and solved the puzzle, you don't think of conspiracy because the hope's still there. But once that hope closes, oh my God, there it is. It's fake. Da, 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 da. All this stuff. I mean, it's just that's obvious. That's how it works. A guy that, yeah, I mean, Davio, a guy that backs into it, maybe he did. Yeah, I don't. That's a point I won't argue a lot with. That's possible. Yeah, well, that's Rob. I think that's just Forrest talking shit, though. Oh, I don't want a redneck pickup, a 12. That's just him talking crap. But yeah, that's you're right. It's like, hey, go find a job and pay for your 12 kids, right? Fuck Yellowstone, go make some money. But yeah, he was just messing around in that. There's only a paper trail. The best. Do you really think Forrest what ended himself? Do you really think Forrest what ended himself? I'm sorry. You think he committed suicide? Is that what you're asking me? I don't know. I mean, from what I've seen, it appears it was a legit. The timing's crazy though. You got to admit the timing. That's really the only reason I thought he may have taken his own life was the timing because you have the Fenn finale and ends on Sunday and then Monday he dies, right? I mean, it's just crazy. It's kind of like, hey, the Femme finale, it's over. I'm done. I'm going. But then the blaring thing was that Peggy was still alive, and I personally don't think he would have ever done that with Peggy still being alive. So to answer your question, no, I don't think he killed himself. The best searchers can do is gather evidence and create theories. We can't access truth. Yeah, that's true, Rudy. Good point, bud. And even if the truth was given to us, a large portion of the group would not believe it. That's a fact, right? Do you really think it was possible? Davio, I certainly think it's possible. This is a scenario, okay? I get in the chase, I read a bunch of shit, I do this, I look around, I read rumblings and ramblings, all this stuff. Like, hey, 9 Mile Hole sounds pretty special. Why don't I go look over there? And then over time, you're looking at, a few months pass, and you're convincing yourself more and more and more that's 9 Mile Hole. And then all of a sudden you find it. I think that's possible. Absolutely. All you have to do is pick the general area, and picking 9 Mile Hole as a general area is not crazy. I mean, it's one of the obvious places it could have been at. Amy, because you can't look, guys. If we were to see the video of Forrest and Jack talking June 2020 on that in that lawyer's office in Hanasco's office, and Forrest gives the solution, is that going to be enough for you? If it's not your like if it's not your solve, will that be enough for you? Yeah, Rob, it's even in the book. Yeah, the picture right there. Exactly. you know? Yeah, but that's just see, Rob, that's something I talked about in one of my other videos where I think it's incredibly dangerous to say absolutes like never and always, and it can't be this because of you have to leave all possibilities open. He could put it there even if he mentions it in his book. That's just, that's just something you're putting in as a restriction. But just because you don't think that doesn't make it so, right? We could think, oh, he would never mention it in his book, but Forrest says, yeah, what the hell? I'll mention it in my book and they'll still put it there and they won't find it, right? Because that's how cocky he was. Yes, the video in the lawyer's office, right? That would be strong evidence, but I guarantee you, Idaho, there were people that would not believe it. Okay, Amy, you believe it too? Good. But you guys know there will be people that say, "Oh, well, that's scripted. It's not the real solution. Forrest is lying." That's the sickness that some people have in this chase. They would see that and still not agree. I mean, I can't help them. I'm just in chat, not listening. Yeah, poor Lily's got COVID. She's on the bad end of it. I wish you well. Not fun. I'm on the back end, so luckily I'm improving, I think. No pinyon trees in Wyoming. But Glenna, that comment was completely withdrawn by Forrest. Some people have a solve, do not have a solve. Yeah, there are a few people that don't. More than a few, a lot of people. I think it's already happening. What do you mean, Amy? No sage at 9 Mile Hole. You know, it's interesting, Rob. That's a good point, because if you look at the questions when Jack was answering emails, he did mention, he said something like, I think that was just a general comment of the scents or the smells that are evoked when Forrest thinks of the spot. But it doesn't necessarily mean there was sage right at the spot. Jack said something like that. I might be butchering it a little bit, but the general idea of what Jack said was, yeah, he said that, but there's sage in the area, but not right there. That was the general idea of what Jack said. Oh, I'm listening, Amy. I'm listening plenty. Yeah, there's sage close by. Maybe not at the exact spot. Yeah, you know what, Queen Anne, that's a good point by you. Hints to microfish, right? So let's now that gives more credibility to what we saw this yesterday from Capro. So we know, we can see that. Okay, I made this point a while back for something in my solution, but I'll use it for 9 Mile Hole. He made the point, we all know, I wrote that so small, I need a magnifying glass to see it. I had to blow it up in Kinko's or reduce it down to Kinko's, whatever, right? But we know that Barbarisi, and now that we've seen it, we all can make out words rolled up through 15 pages of paper in a glass jar. We can make out some of the words. So obviously you don't need a magnifying glass. Capro said it was zoomed in on resolution, but still, you don't need the magnifying glass to read it. So it might have been a hint, just like the pipe, Sitting Bull pipe. He said we looked under high magnification. So maybe those were hints to the microfish at the library, right? Possible. Very possible. That's a good point. I don't know if that's the point you were making, but it's a good point. So not about it's about the parts, the data points. For some reason, that's too hard to imagine. Why can't be something to do as a group? What do you mean? Why can't we all get together and agree, W? Is that what you mean? Things that stand out should be simple. But it is, W. I don't think, I mean, to me, it's simple. I don't know. We have the attorney for Forrest family and for Forrest. He was Forrest's attorney, saying it was at Yellowstone Park. I mean, if that's not any type of hard evidence for you, I don't know what to tell you, bro. He's saying this in court. He's a member of the New York bar. He is under oath. He cannot perjure himself. He doesn't need to be under oath. If he lies to the court, that's lying to the tribunal. That's fraud on the tribunal, and he could lose his license. That's his livelihood. Now, sure, there are lawyers that don't care, and they end up getting prosecuted and losing their license. I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid, bro. I'm not, but that's all right. I mean, I'm pretty sure I'll be proven correct, but I mean, I already think I have, but people just have their eyes closed. You need a magnifying glass to read emails. Yeah, he did. Remember how Heritage Auction got your name, address, and informations? Not mine. Heritage got my information because I signed up for an auction for something else. They didn't have my information before that, though. Capro stated 30 times. Yeah, I said that, Idaho. I think I did. If not, I apologize. No, he actually flat out retracted the comment, Glenna. Auction began on Veterans Day, will end on the Feast of Our Lady of Guadalupe. Remember those days. All right. Rob, you gonna stream? Oh man, there's a lot of stuff there. If I give you papers that say I am green, and you say I am green in court, you never lied. Huh? I don't follow that. I mean, I think I know what you're saying, but I don't think that's a kind of an example that's a bit out there. I am over, Luli. But this is a hobby. Like I've gotten out of the obsession part. It's taken a while, but this is a hobby for me. I've done a few videos lately, but partially just because I've been homesick and bored, and but I'm not obsessed where I used to be. I'm okay with my level of involvement right now. Court was to prove McCracken is fucking nuts. Well, yeah, that I think we can almost all agree on that. But who knows? Maybe not. Hey, Paul, welcome. Right, but Davio, it doesn't matter what the papers were meant to solve or to prove. It just matters what they say. And again, we have the government attorney with an affidavit from the Yellowstone National Park head ranger talking about protecting the system unit resources, which are listed, they can be found, and include only two places that are a national park, Yellowstone and Teton, Grand Teton. And we have Karl in the court saying we are talking about the national park, Yellowstone National Park. I mean, what, and then we have emails from Jack to Forrest saying he was at 9 Mile Hole. I mean, I don't know what else people really want. I don't know. Well, Jack wasn't called because Jack wasn't part of that case, Rob. It was a case by McCracken against the estate of Forrest Fenn. Davio, he was looking, be specific. So if you agree with you believe in the emails that they're from Jack, he was looking in 9 Mile Hole. So you got to admit that. You can't say he was looking in Yellowstone and then not say he wasn't looking in 9 Mile Hole. If you're saying the emails show he's in Yellowstone, the emails also show he was in 9 Mile Hole. You got to agree to that. Lula, Forrest hit another treasure. We talked about it, Forrest and I. Oh yeah, what, his jars or something else? It's funny, this auction and the stuff leading up to it has really Davio, I know you said that, buddy. We know Zoe got the emails. What does that mean? You're implying that she faked them. You're calling her a criminal. And again, why would they do it? That's the question nobody can answer. You know why, Rob? Because Toby is as stubborn as there is anywhere. That man is completely stubborn. Because he has died on that hill from the beginning that it wasn't Yellowstone. He will never admit it. That may be so, Lily, but again, I go back to what I said. He allowed all that other stuff to happen. So his priority was the chase. Number one, Doesn't matter if he liked K-Pro and Cal. He was going to do whatever advanced the chase. He could have stopped it, and he didn't. So that's it. It doesn't matter how he felt. It's what were his actions. I mean, yeah, Steve, good luck. I mean, Lily's been talking about emails for 2.5 years. No one's seen the first one. Sorry, Lily, but it's true. You keep talking, I don't know if I'm going to post them. I've been thinking about posting them. You never post them. I mean, it's like the whole K-Pro thing. I'd rather not even hear about it until you put them out. It's just teasing. Oh, I have them, but nobody likes that. You know that, right? Nobody. I'm just being straight with you. All right. New videos posted are all clues of spin-offs, more to come. Oh, I don't know about that, Idaho, but maybe. Huh? Davio, she picked out the emails after they were already deceased. I'm holding it all to tell my. Oh, all right. When do you plan on releasing that, Luli? Of course, I have imagination and apathy. I don't. That doesn't apply here. I don't know how that relates. Being the very good daughter would do anything to protect your parents. It doesn't. They were dead, Davio. There's nothing to protect. It's deep denial. Again, my opinion. Anyone who thinks Zoe fraudulently created those emails, that those aren't real emails that she gave to court, is in deep denial. God, man, how do I get all the conspiracy kooks in here? Still love you guys. Prime service? This is a scam, I think. Yeah, I mean, so your prime service is deleted, and then you look at the email it's from, it's like 1,000,000 letters. Obviously, a scam. Oh, and my dog food is on the way from Amazon. Lovely. Okay, good. You trust him to search, but you don't trust him to end it. Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, this is why Galaxy's point was exactly supported my point, where he said, I didn't even consider a second chess until after June 6th. I'm like, yeah, exactly. The dream's over. Now let the conspiracies flow. Now that I can't find the chest and win the gold, now come the conspiracies. No one had a conspiracy before June 6th. Okay, good, Davia. And Jack's emails show that Jack was searching 9 Mile Hole, correct? Yes, correct. Yeah, Paul. Apparently, Rudy found the twig. I mean, I don't know. I didn't see it, but that's the word. I mean, I have no. I don't. I totally believe Rudy's an honest guy, and I believe he believes he's got the twig, whether he does or not. I don't know. I mean, that's really not. That's not relevant to anything. No, that's it's cool if he did, but I guess he made some 3D twigs just like it. I don't know if he's going to sell them or give them to friends, or I don't know what he's doing with that. But all of my 40-ish emails from I treasure them a lot. Forrest and I agreed to delete a couple related to hiding in the second structure, but I saved one. Rudy showed a stick pick in C2. Yeah, I heard all that was on Discord. Ben was in here earlier saying that too. And Rudy was. he was in here. Yeah, there he is. Yeah, exactly, Rudy. I believe you, dude. Again, scientifically, I'm saying, what we can't be 100% certain. But yeah, I believe it's generally the stick that was the one in the chest. I believe it, and I haven't even seen the picture. So that's how much weight you carry with me, anyways, as far as your truthfulness with the community. I don't need to see the picture. I accept it. I can't stand Rudy. What, Steve? What's wrong with Rudy? Why don't you like him? Or are you just good? Are you just joking around? I'm curious when you found the stick versus the log. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I didn't believe in the log, but that was my own bias, really. But there's a picture in the book of Fenn Treasure. Well, he kind of said that, Tech. He said there are a couple big hints in the book, but he did say that the hints will help you work out the clues in the poem. Not joking. Oh, Steve. Okay, well, let's be nice to the chat room. I don't care what you say about me, but I don't want people arguing in the chat. Please. I'm not silencing you by any means, but I just don't want, arguments disrupting the chat. If you guys can be adult about it, that's cool. Not that you haven't been. I'm just saying, moving forward, I don't mind a discussion. I encourage discussion. I searched for it after making my video of the Nook. It took about 10 minutes to find under some pine needles. Wow. Oh no, man, Rudy. That's that 2.5 years, or well, 2 years, I guess, right? It wasn't half. That's wild. How many sticks of the screw in the light bulb? Rudy's getting all. Everyone's making fun of Rudy and the stick. Again, I have no reason to think he's lying. Whether it's the actual stick or not, that's, I guess everyone can make their own judgment on that. There are many hints in the books, and they become more and more in the latter books, in my opinion. He wanted to chase. Absolutely, Doc. The scrapbooks was trying. I guess there's 2 points of view on the scrapbooks, or it could be both. One, he found out about Jack, that Jack was on it and found it. Because the scrapbook dump came in October, September, October. So then he started dumping them. But I will say these all had hits, and all of these scrapbooks were made to try to get out more information to the community. Whether it was done with the knowledge that Jack had found it already or not, I don't know. But I think it works both ways, even if he knew about Jack or if he didn't know about the Jack. If he didn't know about the Jack, he just wanted it to end, right? He just wanted it to end. If he did know about Jack, he knew it was going to end and he wanted to get all this out before it was done. So either way, I don't think so, Rob. I don't think so. I mean, it can be dangerous. Absolutely. It can be. But I've seen, I mean, you can see the videos. These Rudy, Cynthia, they cross quite easily. I mean, we crossed it's Soda Butte Creek, but it's no joke. It's big and it's raging, and we got through it, even though that was a little crazy. Stupid. That was dangerous. What we did was dangerous, but I've seen the Madison. You've seen the videos. Doesn't look dangerous at all. Not every river is dangerous. Many are, many aren't. You can't just answer it blanket like that. How can a child cross that river? Well, he did say, 3-year-old would need some help. I think a younger, maybe a 7, 8, 9-year-old could cross it. Yeah, see, I mean, every river is completely different. I mean, you can't, just because one river is dangerous doesn't mean another one is, and vice versa. Davio, Forrest never said a child would know where it was after reading the book once. In fact, he never even said let the child read the book. This is part of the misquotes that are out there. That one, along with that blaze wouldn't be there in 1,000 years. Well, he never said it would be. A creek is right. A creek is mentioned in the poem. Yeah, so redneck fishermen like that call creeks and rivers all the same stuff. A lot of them. So Forrest might have been like that. But Glenn, I will say, poem-wise, that's a strong point against the Madison, sure. But here's the problem. When I say this is one of my, I'm thinking while I'm talking. I scratch what I just said, because the Madison is a river, yes, but there are 2 creeks that feed, which is where the end is ever dry nigh, and then it takes you to the creek, and then there'll be no paddle up your creek, which means you're going to walk up that creek that feeds the Madison. So there is a creek involved. Yeah, the creek in the poem isn't the Madison. The creek in the poem is the creek that feeds into the Madison. At that point in the poem, that's where you're at, right? So you put in below the home of Brown, if around Fenn Rock somewhere, I don't know exactly, you put in there. From there, it's no place for the meek, right? You got to cross the river. The end is ever drawing nigh. You make a left, and that left will take you to the 2 creeks that meet and dump into the Madison. Instead, there'll be no paddle up your creek, which means you can't paddle up it because it's too small. You got to walk it. Sam believes the nook that Rudy found. I mean, yeah, a lot of people do. I don't. Again, I haven't even seen the picture. I believe the nook. Yeah, not the stick. I'm sorry, I haven't seen the picture of the stick. I did see the log picture and the nook, and I think it's the same, in my opinion. The children ask their parents to take them to Yellowstone. Maybe not. I don't know. But he never said a 7-year-old could. I said that. And let's face it, everyone has this big thing about about crossing the river. I mean, you could just swim across it. It wouldn't be that hard. The current's not that hard, from what I could tell, anyways. It's just not practical to swim because you got to pack on it a bunch of shit. But it's not like it's a class 5 rapid. Sam 4 5 or Chum. Everything you're saying is a definition of ambiguity, which means there's nothing specific about the Davio. I'm relying on what I've already told you. That's not going to change, and that's all very specific. You can deny it all you want and refuse to accept it, but what I've told you is factual information. This is other stuff I'm just talking about. I'm not missing anything, man. There's sharks in the Madison River. I mean, I didn't. Myself, like I said, was Soda Butte Creek right here on my photo where you see. But it's no joke to cross that. Let me tell you, early summer, that is no joke. I mean, you're not crossing unassisted. No one's going to make that unassisted. And not even early summer, actually late spring before summer, which was late May, early June. It wasn't summer yet. It was nasty, nasty. Probably class 4 rapid, like Davio's bringing back to the song. Yeah. Most people, most deniers do. Not all of them, but most do. Because that's why they deny so strongly, because they can't accept that they're wrong. Again, this is rampant. Look at Troy always posting all his videos, and Bill, and Greg doesn't believe it because he thinks his solve's right. Everyone thinks their solve's right. Although I'll give Greg from Brutal Truth credit. He doesn't really go back to his solve that often. He doesn't bring it up every now and then, but some do it more so than others. Ben, what happened to our Dolphins, man, last week? We gotta tighten up this week. 3 road games in a row is rough. But I expected to stumble through these 3. I thought you were cool, Dav. Did K-Pro win the poker? Oh, I have no idea. Ben has no hint. What is so hard to say what yours is? Davio, I think, and not to defend him, he can speak for himself, but I mean, Ben's told us his solve before down the compadre, however you pronounce it, Compadre River in Colorado, and $1 Million Highway and all that. I think that was his original place. I hope so, man. I really hope so. I'm gonna try to get one of these last couple home games. Hopefully, if I can. I don't have the kids. We'll have to see. Ben says over and over, it's something we can't know. Ben Napple, you too in a way, brother. You too in a way, brother. How many times the community heard your DB Cooper for a long time? I mean, I'm not a believer in the DB Cooper thing. I don't talk about it, it's just not relevant to the chase as far as I'm concerned, but other people, people believe it. Finding the parts and clues. Davio, you know what proved Jack's location? I'll tell you. He has the chest. That proves his location. Cincinnati, get out of here, dude. They just now got good. Yeah, in defense of Ben, I haven't heard him talk about DB Cooper in quite a while. Or at least, have a stream dedicated to that. No, Davio, ding, ding, ding. It's not possible for us as a group to agree. No, we can't. Because those who think they're right will never agree with anything contrary to that. That's why we can never agree. You're going to tell me that Bill Gorman will ever believe if God came down and talked to Bill out of the sky and said, yes, I love Moses, but you have the wrong solve. It wasn't Moses. You think he'd ever believe that? He wouldn't. No, he won't. That's why we can't agree. And I don't just pick on Bill. It's anybody that believes their solve's correct. He's just an easy target to bring up in the conversation. I mean, he's never going to believe he was wrong. Barb is never going to believe she was wrong. Dave Woodard, never going to believe he was wrong. And it's looking like you aren't going to believe you're wrong. Greg Brutal Truth isn't going to believe he's wrong. Troy Barlow isn't going to believe he was wrong. And when we find clues or hints, it comes back to what only you think is a clue or hint. He got the chest. That's his proof. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. The clues and hints should take us to 9 Mile. I can make them take me there, no problem. They're not good, but let's do it. I mean, Warm Waters Hall, Madison Junction, Canyon Down is Madison Canyon. Not far, but too far to walk. So that's 4 miles, 4.2 miles. Put in below the Homer Brown. So you park and you get out and put in at Fenn Rock. From there, there's no place for the Meek. You're crossing the Madison River. Can't be Meek. Once you get across, the end is ever drawing nigh. You make a left. You keep walking then until you see there'll be no paddle up your creek. So you see the creek and you turn right and you go up the creek. And then he stops and he says, if you've been wise and found the blaze. So there's no instruction. You got to go find it. That was the problem. Hey, Rick. Good to see you, bud. I might put that video up at 9 Mile with us all so you can see it in detail. Stay tuned. All right. Yeah, I would like to see that. So, I mean, there's the clues. There's no reason you can't say those fit. They all fit. I mean, that's the poem. It fits anywhere. What do you mean the precise place? Well, you know, what's funny is, in retrospect, it is precise because it says, if you've been wise and found the blaze. Well, he's like, if you found it, then there's the chest. And he's right. It is precise if you find the blaze. So that's a contingency. The word if is a contingent word. So if he's saying, if you've been wise and found the blaze. So not the blaze is right at the up your creek. It says, if you've been wise. So you have to find it. You have to go find it. I mean, and you know what? Today I was thinking about that. You know, I pick out scrapbooks. You know, there's people who don't think the scrapbooks had hints or they disagree with what I think the hints were. That's fine. But I remember the scrapbook he wrote about Gotti Schwartz, and he had this line. In my opinion, most of the scrapbook hints were either at the beginning of the scrapbook or at the very end. Sometimes there's shit in the middle, but generally it was at the beginning or end. But he had this one line about when he was talking to Gotti Schwartz, and he said, yeah, it's right. It's like right out of Treasure Island. Now, if you, and I was thinking, I thought it meant something else, but compared to 9 Mile Hole, you could say that island where the two creeks split, you know, they diverge and then come back together and forms that little island. If you make a right out from that island, that's where the blaze was. Just saying. Yeah, it's precise if you're wise. Exactly, Ben. So that contingency, if you can be wise and find it, then yeah, it is precise. The poem is the thing that makes you look down, Davio. If you've been wise and found the blaze, if you find it, look down. The poem tells you to do that. He said, roll over a log, see what's under it. Under wood, typewriter. There's all kinds of hints. Those he was talking about the trees, right? These are the scrapbook dump. He talked about the juniper tree that was armless and on the ground. He's basically telling you it's a log in that scrapbook. A farewell to arms, except the book is For Whom the Bell Tolls, but he calls it a farewell to arms because the tree has no arms because it's a dead log on the ground. I mean, Jack could have said the tree was damaged, not the blaze. Yeah, he could have, Rob, but he didn't, man. I mean, you know, I don't think that matters. Yeah, Steve. I mean, well, I made a video as to why I don't think Jack broke the law. I do think Forrest broke the law by intentionally placing it there. But I don't think Jack did, in my opinion, whatever that's worth. But my video, I think, is pretty clear on why I think that. If you compare the two statutes and the federal statutes, one's the abandoned statute, and the other one's the basically the park. What abandoned property means and what is done with that type of property. I think Jack's in the clear. I just don't think. I think Forrest did break one of the laws by leaving something. But the strict letter of that, well, you got to be intentional. But if you put a coin in the ground, that's breaking the law. Right. It's yeah, I think if you've been wise, it's just he's just saying if you've done what it's taken to get to the blaze. That's all he's saying. Whatever that means, whether figuring out the poem, making a right at the creek, whatever. What about the old river band? Marking an island. Not sure, Rick, on what you mean on that one. Would the key word? Idaho, I thought the key word was so, but what do I know? Steve Klein, you break the law, you and your kids, that's the thing Forrest wanted you to do. Yeah, that is. Hey, he just put it out there. He ain't forcing anyone to grab it and take it. And again, in my opinion, Jack's not breaking the law. So I don't think Forrest wanted anyone to break the law. Wife and 99 kids would go to sneak into Yellowstone, steal a treasure box, and do not tell a park ranger. South, nice. What do you mean south, Davia? So FF wrote the poem 15 years ago. All right, Tech, that's another quote. He walked that quote back. He said something like, this is later on, right? Like closer to the end. He goes, yeah, I'm sure someone asked him, oh, so it took you 15 years to write a poem. He goes, sorry. He says, yeah, I'm sure I said something like that. But he kind of walked back like, yeah, I just said 15 years, but it wasn't necessarily 15 years. You break the law once, you're going into Yellowstone and take anything from there. That's wrong, Robert. Again, you're casting generalities on the situation, and this is a very specific situation. I welcome you to watch my video on it and see what you think. Keyword is a noun, maybe. Yeah, I mean, who knows? He said there's a word in there that'll help you more than others. I thought it was so. So can mean south. Yeah, I thought it meant something else, but I think so meant a 50. It's the letter conversion of the number 50. S is a 5, O is a 0. And that's the 50 that you see in the little rectangle box on page 99, which I have had several people see the 50 in there. They have trouble seeing the words I said it said, but many have seen the 50. When he had cancer in the 80s. And if you trace the route from Madison Junction all the way to the turn in, you come down, then you get out of your car, you come down to the river, you go past Fenn Rock, that's a 5. And then it continues and you do another 5 until you get the chest. So the 5 means the path is a 5 and the 0 means to do it again. So you do a 5 and then do it again. And it fit my solve, but damn, I'll be damned if it doesn't fit 9 Mile Hole too. So I was like, wow. That's kind of well, the log and that really clinched it for me. I'm from the land of misfits, not the land of nooker popular kids. That's why that's a direct, what I just said was a direct relation to the scrapbook about Eddard, where he talked about, there's so much that comes to mind now. Because when he talks about Eddard dying, he tells a story at the end of the scrapbook about them getting in trouble at track, and they were supposed to run 50 laps. And then he said, and they made us We were losers and had to run 50 laps, but then we decided to run 5 more and be victorious, right? So 50, and then he's saying another 5. So I think he was telling Jack or whoever, you got to do 2 5s. Take a look at it with what I said. Then that takes us to the DG scrapbook 50. He put the double omegas. It wasn't because DG was close, even though she happened to be close. It was because the scrapbook was scrapbook 50. That's why the double omegas were there, not because DG was at 9 Mile Hall. Then we go to the scrapbook about I think it's the same scrapbook. At the bottom, at the very end, he says, we were born in the same hospital, right? And we were delivered by the same doctor. And he says, who offsets, he called it George Soros, we were delivered by the same doctor that delivered George Soros, who was born to offset me, right? George Soros being left, Forrest being right. So he's saying you got to go right. That's what he was saying. Then that same analogy correlates to the painting that Sloan gave him for his fireplace, where he had the 2 guys on the horses walking away from them, and he placed it on the right side of the fireplace. So he's saying, walking in away, you're on the right. That's how I read that. Anyways, never trust a nooker. Rick Nowak, did they ban you on Discord? No. Yeah, Idaho Buffalo, the scrapbooks, man. Well, it doesn't matter what our definitions are. It's what Forrest's definition is, right, Davio? That's what matters. Well, an address is a 1/4 acre big, depending on where you live. That's a lot bigger than the spot where the chest is. So your argument doesn't hold water. I mean, even if you get to a piece of property, where on that property do you want to go? You can be more precise than an address. That's not very precise, really. It depends how precise you need to be. That's what matters. I can give you a property that's 5 acres big with an address. Doesn't tell you a whole lot about a certain location on those 5 acres. I told you, you got to find the blaze, Davia. That's the precision, finding the blaze. Then you have precision, and then you have the chest. An acre of land is an acre of land, yeah. But he's talking about being precise. An address only gets you to the acre. Doesn't get you to a specific spot on that acre. Oh, I don't know what they call out there. Here in acres, I mean, we call land by acres. So, if you have like a residential lot, call it a 1/4 acre. Or, whatever the size is. It could be 3/10, 3/10 of an acre, or 3/4 of an acre. But acre's the measurement here. Let me see something here, guys. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Hold on. Sorry, I just got to do something real quick here. All right, I'm good. Sorry. All right, I just had to make sure some more thing was taken care of. Uh-oh, where'd my chat go? Oh, here we go. What's the blaze stuck? Rob, the blaze apparently is the white streak on the tree. We can't know. Jack is truly impressive. Homewood Brown will let you go straight to it. Yeah, because So Home of Brown, if it's Fenn Rock, it is straight to it from there. Except the poem sends you in a roundabout way. I mean, remember the quote, which really doesn't make sense if you break it down, but I think it gets across what Forrest was trying to say, where he says, I warned that the path would not be direct for one who did not have knowledge of the location beforehand, but certain for the one who did, right? So the poem takes you in a roundabout way, but he could go straight to it from Homer Brown, right? So the poem takes you Homer Brown across the creek, then to the left, then up the canal, sorry, Florida, then up the creek, and then you make a right to the blaze. You form like a rectangle there, the bottom half of what I would call the 5, right? But if you go from the chest to Homer Brown, it is a straight shot. Rob G, that I'm glad you say that about the tree, because that's an incredibly wildly misquoted quote. Forrest, everyone assumes that the blaze has to last forever, 1,000 years. He never once said that, not once ever. So it doesn't have to last a long time. It could have lasted a day. That's not a prerequisite for the solution. The blaze is the white streak on the tree, Glenna. I've also said if you get within 15, you're gonna know what's the blaze, not grid search. He walked that. It was 12 feet tech, and he walked that comment back too with Sean Dotson in 2020. Sorry, in 2018. Sean specifically asked him, "Could you see? Can you get within 12 feet of the treasure and not know it?" And he refused to answer the question. Laugh away, Rob. The tree that fell down, Glenna, apparently. And look, hey, for all we know, Jack may have had he may have had a metal detector. Now that definitely would be breaking the law, but who knows? I'm not accusing him. I'm just saying we don't know. D-Day, hello. I don't recognize you, but welcome. Glad you're here. He answered the question. You're wrong. Huh? No, Rob, I'm not wrong, my friend. Sorry, he did not answer that question. Sean sent me I asked Sean personally. The question was, Forrest, you previously had mentioned that you couldn't come within 12 feet of you couldn't come within 12 feet of the treasure without finding it. Is that still true? And he said, I'm not, no comment, or I'm not going to answer, something like that. He refused to answer the question. My blaze is Sunburst, Montana. Browning, Homer Brown. Rich is old and new is old and shale gas. Yellowstone is the coolest park ever. So Yellowstone is the coolest park ever. Do you think your solve is still correct, or do you believe now it's in Yellowstone? You believe in the Tooth Fairy? Okay, bud, that's cool. They changed the color of the Eric Sloan book when it was reprinted into Packer Jack Find. DG found arrowheads on a creek off the Madison. Fenn was really interested in that. Yeah, yeah. She was in the right area, Rick. I mean, assuming you believe 9 Mile Hole, she was there. You believe yours is correct. Oh, okay. Yikes. So you think everyone's lying about the state, Yellowstone? Hey, Steve, are you still here? Where was your solve, man? I don't think I even know where your solve was. You do, Rob. I'm not saying anything contrary to that. I said you had a right to your opinion. I agree with you. Oh boy. Oh, you. Oh boy. Uh, they didn't whisper anything because it's typing. He said, "Don't pay attention to what you read on the blogs." He goes, "It's what they whisper," meaning away from the blogs. Oh, you didn't have one, Steve. Okay. I wasn't sure. I couldn't remember if you had told me or I didn't know. Yes, he did. If you were within 12 feet, you would find the chest. Well, actually, I think the exact words, it's unlikely that someone would be within 12 feet and not find the chest. I can find it here in 1 second. Hold on. Just Forrest Fenn, 12 feet, find chest. Let's see. First, he goes, I have not said, okay, here's it. Scrapbook 78. I have not said that a searcher was closer than 12 feet from the treasure. It is not likely that anyone would get that close and not find it. That's 2014, Scrapbook 78. So pretty close to what I said. But he backtracked on that with Sean Dotson in 2018. The original book was a stump with a down tree leaning over. It was uncanny to find the spot that was found after the discovery could not be more. Yeah, Idaho Buffalo. I had the same exact down tree with a stump on my spot. You believe that? That was, one of the many reasons I thought I was right. Well, Yellowstone. I'm gonna. Well, obviously you've been listening to me. I don't agree with you at all, but you can see a lightning strike from 50 feet. Obviously, yeah. I never said it was the exact quote, Robert. I said I think. I can't remember. I clarified that I didn't know for sure what the quote was. I didn't say for sure that was it. That's why I looked it up, right? Let's get it right. It's all right there for us. Why are we guessing to what it says? Let's get it correct. Did Rudy take the log too? I don't think so. I think someone else supposedly took the log. I don't know. When you look at sunburst, an intersection called Ferdig for your quest to cease. Ferdig means finished. Yeah. You can see a lightning. I'm not sure, Tech, if you're making a joke or I mean, we obviously know you can see a lightning strike from much more than 50 feet. Yeah, Rob. I mean, I got it here. I'll look up stuff if you guys want me to, or I look up for myself if I want to get a quote we're talking about. Sometimes it's harder to find some of the stuff because I got to have enough of the right words for the search. Usually I do, but every now and then I get a quote that completely I can't remember at all, and it's hard to find. Well, maybe I can get Sean Dotson's exact quote. You know what? I know exactly where to find it because oh, it might have been Chase Chat. Shit, you can't access Chase Chat anymore. But if it's on 4, I can go back and look and see if I have it. Damn it. Not letting me in. Yeah. You know, these ads on Thor are brutal. So many. I don't even know what my. Oh boy. It's gonna take me a while. Whatever. I'm not gonna look for the Sean Dotson one. Let me see if I can find it on Google. Oh, here. Well, here's on Reddit. Sean Dotson sent him an email asking if Fenn still felt that someone would not likely be 12 feet from the chest and not find it. Fenn answered, "Better not answer that question." So he said, so better not answer. That's what he said. Oh, sorry, guys. Bias tech? How so? I simply pointed out that we know you can see a lightning strike from 50 feet away. What were you trying to say? I don't know what you're talking about. Did FF say something about after Homer Brown look for where grizzlies hide or something like that? No, Yellowstone, he never said that. Like all the logs and sticks are the same. They all have the same distance, growth pattern, the likeness. I thought it was first to Sean. I better not answer that. Then to IG. I don't know. Richard. Yeah, better not answer that. 1999, we want to see Fenn log. Park Ranger was cool. He said more than that. Man, still got okay. I guess I'll keep going. I didn't realize we had 15 here. All right. I'm running out of stuff to say though, guys. Idaho. People have told me there is, and they seem quite confident. Oh, Idaho. Yeah. I mean, it's not hard to imagine that being the case, Idaho. After all, I believe those photos, and I could be wrong, but I believe the Hanasco conference room photos were actually stills of a video. I think so. It might have happened at that very meeting. What do you mean, Rick? What do you mean original material of what? Like what? I'm not sure what you mean. It wasn't find the lightning strike tech. It was find the treasure. It's a big difference when the treasure is. Hold on. Yeah, he was talking about finding the treasure, not the strike of the lightning. I don't understand the question. And it's not a lightning strike going to happen while you're there. It's something that already happened. So you don't make any sense. Yeah, yeah, okay, Ben. Yeah. Hold on, guys. 1 second. Hello? Yeah, hold on. I'm on a Zoom call. Yeah, what's up? Yeah, I got wh- no tonight. He wanted to meet tonight. No, I think he's leaving tomorrow. All right, sorry guys. I had to talk to my kid there for a minute. Figure out what's going on tonight. We got someone in town, but he's working, so I don't know what we're doing. All right. I mean, I'm not going anywhere. I'm stuck in quarantine, but all right. They told you enjoy. Did Rudy take the low? The down tree I thought was at peace. Now you're being sound. Oh wait, okay. I'm trying to find out where I left off. Oh here. Okay. If video offend, then I believe. Well, I hope. Okay. Well, I hope it comes out. There will be people. There will be people that. Thanks. Yeah, I knew I wasn't muted. I finally got to it. Um, there were people that will not believe it, even if Fenn says it. You realize that, right, Rob? I mean, that's a fact. They'll just say, well, it's part of the cover up. Fenn knew he was being videoed, and he made up this second solution at 9 Mile, so he doesn't give away the real place. And that's what they're going to say. Let me a video up. It's only 20 seconds. No, but no, Rick. Sorry, man. I wasn't sure you meant some of the hidden items in the chest. Yeah, I'm not gonna put anything up on here, man. How come you don't put it up? Did you put it up on your channel? I know you post videos. December 12th to the community? Probably not. Yeah, I guess not. Yeah. I don't think, I mean, that's something. First of all, it's attorney-client privileged, that video. So highly unlikely we'll ever see that video. So hopefully there's a different one, like Ben was saying. Well, I mean, the other video, if Karl took it, would be attorney-client privilege too, but with the obviously he'd have would have had permission to release it. Oh, thanks. Yeah, no. Just trying to set up dinner plans for uh my stepdad and my kids, but one kid's working and the other kid's at a talent show, so probably ain't gonna happen. In fact, that reminds me. Trying to put airplanes in the chest. What do you mean, like little model toy airplanes, or I'm not sure what you mean, Rick. I think I mentioned this in K-Pro's chat yesterday, but no one made like a December 7th video the other day, which was, I was a bit surprised. I thought someone would have made a video referring to December 7th and 2 years of fraud, and but we didn't get one of those. That just shows, I mean, people's thoughts are, I don't know, maybe people's thoughts are elsewhere. And if it wasn't for this auction, I mean, this was dying quick death here. Or I should say a slow death, but it was dying. There was nobody around, nobody was talking, doing videos. The auctions definitely drummed up interest, as would be expected. The fake treasure spot, you mean going to 9 Mile? I mean, what's it to us? We don't, it's your video, Luli. If you want to post it, post it. You don't need our permission. One ring has October 14th, the other orange making up Jaeger's Bell X1. Oh, I don't know, Rick. I think that my research didn't take me down that kind of topics or those subjects as far as other pilots like Amelia Earhart, Chuck Yeager, none of that. I didn't get into that. As I said, I was pretty simple on my approach. My process was just figure out where warm waters halt and then take the path from there, following the poem. And I Yellowstone and West Yellowstone and those backgrounds of his parents and living. I didn't get so much into like his time in the Air Force and other pilots and stuff, like I said. Although I did at one point, I walked that back a little bit. I did at one point earlier on, I did have a solve in Kerwin at the same place everyone else does, up there with Amelia Earhart and Cabin and all that stuff. I always forget about that Kerwin solve, but I was on it for a little while. I brought this up before, and buried in another stream. I'm not going to bury it in this one, but you remember Jack had stated, maybe Ben has done some work on this. Jack had stated that while searching, I think it was on the Madison, he ran into another searcher. I mean, has anyone tried to find this other searcher? I mean, anyone do we know of? I would have thought someone would have done that, but I have never heard anyone say peep about it. I mean, if that person is, involved, they would know they were the one that he ran into. So I don't know. I mean, unless there's someone who only searched one time and wasn't that into it and never followed up and kept up with the chase, but you would think that person would have heard about Jack and maybe realized he was the person Jack ran into. I don't know. But I think it's not for me because that's not my bag, but I think it would have been something interesting for our researchers to really look into. And I also am still curious about this so-called second search partner Jack had. I mean, I don't know if that was glossed over because it was wrong or people just stopped talking about it. But some point we were close into finding out more about this person, and then all of a sudden it just stopped. No more information about this search partner. So what the heck's going on there? I don't know. Might have been incorrect information. That's Ben. Ben knew about that. Maybe Ben can speak on that as well. And I asked K-Pro, but she never really got around to saying anything about it. So I don't know. No, Idaho, he did not say that. I don't know if you're being serious or not. He definitely did not say that. He just said I ran into another searcher. But it could have been when he was trying to dissuade people because he said, yeah, I ran into another searcher, so it couldn't be that area, but it was the Madison. So maybe he made it up. I don't know. But then you have the fake blaze, right? Someone put that fake blaze there. So obviously there were searchers. So we know DG was there, but who else? Who else was out there? And who the hell ran into Jack? I got you. All right. Hey, thanks for the info, Ben. I've been curious about that for a while. He was not sitting on the chest. Yes, he did an email sitting on the chest. I'll have to look at the email again. I don't recall that. I wish someone really would have found it, or we wouldn't be in such a mess. I don't know, man. I mean, obviously, I don't agree. I don't really think it's such a mess. It's not ideal, but you know, we're on to the second owner now. So everything before it's over. All this is just someone selling something they own, really. Oh, okay, yeah. Huh. How come I don't recall seeing that? Maybe I didn't read it carefully enough. Well, the question is, would that have been October or August or October 2019 or June 2020? I'll have to relook at that one. How come I don't remember that? It's weird. Well, it's not, I mean, that's your opinion. It's not for sure, but he did find it. That's really all that matters, isn't it? I don't really care how he found it. I really don't care if Forrest told him exactly where it was. I just want to know where the hell it was for sure. I would like to hear it from Forrest, but that might not happen. So I'm okay with it ending like this. I'm okay. I'll be all right. Posted about it in 20. Yeah. I like to find out information on the auction site too. I don't know if we'll ever get anything on that, but I've always been curious and still remain curious about that. Just some things that make sense that would be Jack, other things that don't. It's contradictory within itself. It's contradictory if you want to say it's Jack. There's certain things in there that like it has to be Jack, and then there's certain things in there that just like it can't be Jack. I don't know. Title to the goal is wordplay where the title text thinks it covers the location. I don't think so, Yellowstone. Idaho, yeah, that's right. You're buying a pass. Yeah, yeah, I'm with Ben on that. I fought it too. I held on to that it was wrong for a while, but alas, I succumbed. And I believe 9 Mile Hole. I believe Rudy found the log. I believe the photos from June 5th are of the nook where Rudy found the log. The stick, I'm not so sure about, Rudy. Sorry. Sorry. Because the log's a lot more distinctive than the stick in the area around the log. We got 2.5 hours. Oh my goodness. I, yeah, I think we all know who's in the LLC. It's Justin Posey, at a minimum. It's no coincidence that people that get the VIP treatment are Nookers. Of the three that went with them to the spot on the New Yorker documentary. So it's pretty obvious that the LLC is Justin, when the VIP is Cynthia, Matt DeMoss, and Amy Seeks. So some random other person just happens to have them as friends. Of course, it's AD Day. Yeah, it's of course it's Justin. There's no question. I mean, again, only Justin would have those exact three people in the VIP place. And I said it around minute 23 or 24 in last night's video. K-Pro slips and lets out that it's Justin, even though she didn't realize what she did. Probably to make me look like a hypocrite. Did Packer Jack get a? Did Packer Jack get a? He probably did, didn't he? And just didn't want to tell people. Did Packer Jack get a influencer invite? He must have, right? I mean, maybe Idaho, maybe Justin's keeping the chest. Like I've been saying, I've always thought the chest is for him and the bracelets for Amy, but maybe he keeps the chest and fills it up and puts it back out there somewhere. Who knows? Packer did not get an invite. Oh, all right. Thanks, man. Huh. Yeah, Rob, she definitely slipped. I commented that she slipped and she didn't. I don't think she knew where I was talking about. Justin and him had a falling out. Well, probably so. Hey, Street, welcome, bud. Good to see you. Well, Street, I've thought about that. Not exactly like that, but the selection of that spot. I don't know. I don't know if it's that spot exactly, or if it just happens to be 9 Mile Hole, and then he just said, "Let me find a place out here in the woods." Like 9 Mile Hole itself is the spot, and he just chose a hidden area there to hide it. I don't know if the exact piece of ground where the chest is at was the important spot. I don't know. Is my answer. I don't know. Yeah, Matt too. I put the second minute and second mark a timestamp on my comment, and then I removed it. It's like, I didn't want it to look like I was calling anyone out, even though I was kind of. It's nice to see the LLC people at Heritage. Yeah, maybe Justin's gonna fill that chest up and rehide it. That'd be cool. Gosh, and he lives in Texas. We could only hope he hides it somewhere closer to Florida. I'm sure everyone wants that. At least in the middle of the country and not all the hell out west like that, man. Rudy, does size matter when taking things from Yellowstone Park? Forrest J Street was the toe to toe with the lead searcher, unfortunately. With a small stick, I asked him Street. He told me something. Friendly. Yeah, I guess so. Well, as long as, well, I don't want to get into that. There's certain actors that, as long as they stay away and stay quiet, things are pretty calm. And then you have others that have completely isolated themselves because they've been thrown out of every freaking group in the community, pretty much, except my chat room. So the recap: the article is not the slip up. Is my take on yesterday's video. It's relevant, but it's not the slip up. Size matters when taking. Maybe Jack needs this question. I'm not sure what you mean, Luli. I'm not touching that though. I'm not. I don't know. I'm not going to say anything. I don't know what you're trying to. What point you're getting across with that comment? Oh, taken from the park. Okay. Okay. All right. Never mind. All right, guys. Anything else you want to chat about? Anything else you have comments on? I'm drying up with my I pretty much hit all the points I wanted to talk about today. I mean, I'm anxious to see if you know, not that anyone cares, but it'd be cool if I win the thing I'm bidding on, and no one else keeps bidding. But I placed the bid, man, and it shot up. Someone's got a few, there are a few high, high bids in there on some of the lesser stuff. So you got to kind of pick and choose. My based on what I did, my recommendation would be to go to the further back pages because everyone's bidding on that shit all in the front. You know, the golden eagles, the double eagle, the frog, whatever. Deion Sanders, I saw that. Big move to Colorado. Very I mean, that's we'll see. He did a hell of a job at Jackson State or whatever. We'll see how he does at Colorado. I mean, I think he'll do well. The Marvin Fenn fishing logs. If Jack Stoof was in the Temple, Texas library, in my opinion, helped Jack narrow it down to 9 Mile Hole. Yeah, it definitely told him trout was brown, right? That capital B. Because just be the at least the ones we saw from K Pro, I think the ones on Discord, I think Ben said there was one for 9 Mile Hole. But there's several, so it wouldn't it could have been any of them. But yeah, it definitely helped for sure. Oh, excuse me. Oh yeah, I'm not a soccer guy, Yellowstone. I barely follow when the US is in there, certainly not when they're out. Discord. Man, maybe I'll get back into there. I don't know. That's his YouTube, Glenna. Robert G. Rob, you're getting all dignified, man. You went from Rob G to Robert G. I like it. That's why I had no idea who you were at first for a while. I'm like, is this Rob G? Because you first started before you were streaming, you were just coming on as Robert, I think, on the streams. Like when you were joining Street's channel or Greg, you were just Robert. And then I heard someone say Rob G. I'm like, oh, is this Rob G? Forrest Fenn stated he set the treasure chest down and walked away. Yeah, down in the hole he dug. Hey, all right, Rick, you're welcome, man. I'm glad you had a little time to stop by. Who, me? I'm not on this. Oh, you, Steve. I think Steve Klein. Yeah, Rob G. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's just when you first came on the videos, you were joining like Streets video, and you weren't streaming your own yet, and you just would come on as Robert. So it never clicked that Robert was Rob G until I heard someone call you that, and I was like, oh, okay. Lily, what's Discord sounds bad, and Davia says it is. I mean, look, I don't know why it's bad. There's no. It's just the same people that talk here talk there. It's just the same people. Why is it any worse or better than being in a chat room here on a video? It's the same thing. And the cool thing is people can share, like, someone doesn't, if someone wants to share something, they don't have to make a whole video and do all that. They can just go on Discord, put it in from their phone and share it. Boom, done. And it's instant chat, right? You can chat anytime with somebody. It's not like you have to wait. You don't have to wait for a video. It's just a mobile chat room that you can use anywhere you are, wherever you go. Yeah, Steve. I mean, I banned myself too, actually. I was in the day one, and then I left after a week or two. I don't know. But I might go back. We'll see. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I remember those AOL days. Stuck. Well, that has to be a live YouTube going to chat here. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. The benefit of Discord is having like a pocket chat room. So, in your phone, you go to Discord and you're talking to whoever in the chase right away. So it's pretty cool. It's just the only reason I didn't leave it because I didn't like it. I left it because I was doing some other stuff on Discord and I didn't want to mix that with this. So I just said I'm out. And plus, I wanted to extract myself from the chase. So I got no where I'm happy with the level of chase involvement I have right now. I don't really want to add to it, but Discord I could always add and stop, and so maybe I'll get back in. I don't know. But some of it just like the emails would have been good, and they have like different like rooms like of different interests in the chase, or at least last time I was in there a long time ago. And quite frankly, I just didn't use it that much. I lurked there more than I actually participated when I was in it. Discord has memes you can use to poke fun at, man. Well, I generally only poke fun at the conspiracy people. What else you guys got? I can hang, but it's getting quiet on my end. So anything else? Any topics? Any comments you want to make on any searchers or any theories or other than the auction? We got nothing else here. What do you guys think about the olive jar? I asked this last time, but I'll ask again. What you guys think there's something of great value in there, or just basically Fenn stories that we're kind of familiar with? No, about 4 years, 5 years, early 2018, so 4.5 years. So not that old, but not new. I mean, I was in it. I searched a lot for me, given the distance. No value D-Day. Yeah, I mean, I tend to lean that way. I hope I'm wrong. That'd be great if some really awesome shit's in there. But like I was saying earlier, I think the best we're going to get is the solution at best. Other than that, it's probably going to be humdrum, just Forrest stories. I mean, I'm sure I shouldn't say humdrum. I'm sure there'll be some pretty interesting stories, but nothing earth shattering. Discord has many little hard to follow for dyslexic brain, but it's very fast. It can be funny. It's been hyped to death. Yeah, well, hey, we're in the middle of an auction, right? D-Day, that's the idea, right? Drum up interest and get as much you can for the item. I mean, saying there's something else, I mean, I don't know if Shiloh said that. I don't know. I think it's not well thought out to say something like that unless it's huge, but I don't think it was. I mean, it could have like, it could be like a nothing. I don't know, just anything. You by saying there's something else in the chest, it could be a freaking rock from his house in Santa Fe, and then people are thinking it's the Kennedy assassination. I mean, it just gets people thinking way too out there. Yeah, fantastic. I agree. It's not that tiny. I mean, it's small. I mean, Capra said it was 30x zoomed in. But still, I mean, I think I could definitely read that without a magnifying glass, no question. It was the answer we sought pre-find, and it's the answer we seek post-find. That means the treasure chest was the lure, but lure to what? The answer? I hear you, Street. I mean, I respectfully, I don't agree. Um, but I don't think he's looking for anything, or he was looking for anything. I think Forrest, I think the chest being placed, the whole thing wasn't about getting people off the couch or any of that crap or giving people hope. I think Forrest had his own personal reasons for doing it. For instance, it's some kind of penance, right? Penance for him digging graves and taking stuff, namely. Penance for things he may have done in Vietnam. All this stuff. It was his personal contrition back before dying. I think that's what this was about, in my opinion. There's no, never going to prove that. That will always be conjecture, but that's what I think. The story about getting the kids off the couch and their texting machines, that's all cute and funny, and it's a good story, but I don't think that's the real reason. That's good for the press and to sell the chase, right? To get people interested. But it's this kind of action is much more deep rooted. I mean, when he talks about the spot and how special it was, it's not about getting kids off the couch. You know what I mean? I don't think. But that being said, I don't think he meant for something bigger after the find. I think as far as Forrest was concerned, someone finds it, they go on their way, and he never hears again from it. He's done. That's what I think he thought. That's why I don't think he ever planned some grandiose ending or anything. He just figured that's it. And then if the solver wants to tell you where he found it or tell a story, he can tell a story. That's it. Someone told me to stay away from Discord. It was a lot of fighting and grandstanding by people like K-Pro. Isn't there fighting everywhere in the chase, Lily? I mean, you stayed away from everywhere there was fighting, we'd never see you. Because people fight everywhere. People were arguing in here earlier. You always listen to other people tell K-Pro hasn't been in there since April. Maybe to get people to think about their life before they are face to face with our death. Yeah, maybe, Street. I mean, that kind of goes along with what I was saying, right? So that's what he was doing. Now, did he intend for others to? Maybe. I mean, maybe he would have been hopeful someone that the searchers got something out of it. Maybe that, like you said, or maybe any other value that you get, memory making with your family, whatever. Learning more about yourself. I think there's an aspect of that too. I think he definitely would please him that other people got stuff out of the chase. But I think the number one reason was for him, right? Other people getting stuff is a fortunate byproduct. Let's say, like the words he used in one of his scrapbooks, is a fortunate byproduct of the chase. But it was about him and him facing death and making things right and that kind of stuff. But I like the way you put it. Yeah. Once in a while it gets heated, but overall it's fun. Lily, will you make amends with K-Pro? I don't think that's ever going to happen. Idaho Buffalo, and I don't even know them. It sound like it. K-Pro invited Brutal True Greg to be her +1 at Heritage Auctions. If you want to find yourself, go out and get lost in the woods. Yeah, right. That definitely helps for sure. Oh my God, it's so funny. Yeah, Idaho doesn't look like there's going to be a kiss and makeup on that with those two anytime soon. Let's see what I got going on here. Oh, hold on, guys. I got some emails coming through. Hold on, let me tell this email. Hold on, guys. All right. Just want to make sure I'm not missing anything here. I'm checking trying to stay on top of my emails from work. I've been out since freaking shit. When did I leave? Last Wednesday, over a week. It is a truth stated by Capo last night. She invited Brutal Truth Greg to be a +1. But I think it's possible. Greg wouldn't hold a grudge, I don't think. Yeah, Greg was in there, right? Didn't he post pictures and stuff? No? Am I confused? Did I hit my head or something? Didn't Greg post some shit, some pictures of the auction? Or was he just using K-Pro's pictures? I don't know. I get confused sometimes, man. So many. Yeah, look, he's posted. Yeah, I'm right there. He posted some pictures. Uh, so he did go in, I guess, huh? But how come we didn't see him in any of K-Pro's videos? I guess they weren't together when he went in with her. It's confusing. I predict Greg will go to Vegas and make buddies with K-Pro. Let me ask you something. What is with Ohio, man? You know, it's funny. I just saw a video on YouTube, like a little short, because Florida man always gets all his shit because we're all crazy down here. But they did one on Ohio, and they all crazy motherfuckers up there too. You guys go. You got Street, Greg, Frank. All you guys are from Ohio. Who else is up there? I know there's someone else up there. Would you agree when face to face with death, life becomes clear and things you thought were important suddenly become trivial? I definitely agree with that. I've never been like kind of face to face, but one time I did think I was very ill and might not make it. But I was wrong, but the feeling was real, and yes, definitely. Because whether it was factual or not, I believed it. So I was, that all did happen. Steve, are you from Ohio too? That's funny. I didn't know that. I knew there were a few people other than the ones I mentioned. I just couldn't remember. I guess you were one of them. But Fenn mentioned Toledo and they all moved there. That's right. Greg was used to live down here in Florida, didn't he? I mean, hey, look at all the people that have been down here in Florida in the chase that I can name off the top of my head. It's not necessarily the most straight crew in the world. Myself, we've got Mindy Fossey, she's from down here. Stephanie 30 Acre. Bill Gorman's lived down here. Troy Barlow lives here. So there's a bunch of us too. Hold on, guys. Sorry, I'm doing a text here. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Hold on, it's my son again. Hello? Yeah. All right, I'm back. Sorry again. We're still making the trying to change those dinner plans till tomorrow, I guess. Oh boy, hold on, more dinner plans. Hello? All right, guys. Sorry about that. I'll catch up in the chat in just 1 minute. Let me just finish this arrangement. Finally gonna do dinner tomorrow now. Oh man. All right, one more text. Okay. All right, what we got here? Let's see. Damn, it's Friday. Thank you. Oh, Glenna, good to see you. Thank you. We are nuts and proud of it. Yeah, right? Yeah, the state logo's the nut, right? Buckeye. That's a nut, isn't it? Am I wrong on that? I know my head is right now. Gabriel called us names and slandered, told lies, and put down my event. Why would I ever be friends with the biggest hater of the chase? Suicide shaming is the worst of it. I don't know about anything about that. That I don't know about. I mean, I know the story, but I don't have a dog in that fight. I don't know what's. I never saw the post or anything. So, Serpent Mound. Well, as a Hurricanes fan, I cannot stand the Buckeyes. I have letter. I have a letter that several people asked me to send K-Pro asking her to apologize. I never sent it because she is beyond seeing what hurt she has caused. Well, I mean, I don't know. Like I said earlier, it'd be nice if everyone get along, but that's just not reality, and that's fine. Everyone doesn't have to get along. There's plenty of people that we can interact with that we don't have to interact with people we don't like. That's fine. She wears it well. Well, yeah, she definitely has her detractors. I'm not, that's sure for sure, and I'm sure she'd be the first to admit that too. But again, it's like Reggie Jackson said, right? They don't boo nobodies. I mean, the people with the most visibility are the ones that get the most hate. That's just life. That's how it is in every aspect of everything. I mean, no one talks about me. I have 119 subscribers, right? Now, I don't. If I had 2,000, people would be saying a lot more shit about me. Everyone should do the survey. That's a link to the stars. Yeah, I only drove through Ohio once while I was in West Virginia. Went over, I think we crossed, I think the Ohio River's there. Am I wrong? Mississippi River? Ohio River. We crossed the river, and which I'm so pissed now that I didn't go to Canton for the Hall of Fame while I was up there. But I didn't. Maybe next time. And I think Cleveland wasn't too far. I don't even know if the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame was there then. That was probably 1992. I think it was there. I think the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame opened in the late 80s, but maybe I'm wrong. Ohio River. Yeah, that's it. I was doing work in 92, in the fall of 92 in West Virginia. Spent a few months up there moving around. Went to Charleston, Parkersburg, Clarksburg, Beckley, Philippi, all that, all over the place up there. It was really pretty. I mean, I had a good time up there, actually. Couldn't drink yet, though, so I had to find ways, creative ways. Being at work with a bunch of people who weren't, going to get me alcohol. So, all right. Yeah, long time of shit. 92, that's 30 years from this fall. Wow. Yeah, it was a short assignment. I was only there from like I think mid-August to right before Thanksgiving, so about 3 months. It was a pretty cool gig because I'd go up there and they'd fly me home almost every week. And I had an allowance. It was nice. And I was only, 20. So it was pretty cool. Guys, waning down. I'm sitting here talking about West Virginia 30 years ago. So I think that might be the sign to cut this out. Last chance. Anybody else want to say anything? Has any thoughts on anything that we've talked about today, or want me to answer anything about me or myself or my thoughts? If not, I think we'll just wrap it up. Call it a day. Maybe we'll get some other people out. Do a stream Friday night. We could usually David Pisano or Paisano. It's Paisano, but it's spelled Pia. The Paisanos I know are Pai, so I always say it wrong. But sorry, David Paisano. He usually goes on Friday night, kind of taking over. Not taking over. I don't want to sound bad, but he, kind of in place of Susie. Susie doesn't do any more streaming. I'd like her to maybe do something. Be nice to hear from her, but she doesn't come on Friday nights anymore. So David's got free reign on Friday night. So maybe we'll see them tonight. But hey, Street, good seeing you. I'm glad you guys came by. Steve, you too. Luli, anyone that's left out there lurking, thanks for watching, and